Good morning to all of you. Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So yes, we have almost 72 participants with us today. And we are joining you from Nagpur, and we come from a rural college which is based in Bhivapur. And as it is Sunday, which is considered to be a holiday, all of us, I think we love to sit back home and use our digital devices and technology. And that is how I think science has helped us to connect from afar. So with this beautiful weather around, as a nature lover, I think people like me would enjoy this kind of weather, rainy, which seems as if it's a monsoon. But then nature in its own way, I think someday we are responsible to fidget, or I think to experience what we are experiencing today. These are the unseasonal rains that we are witnessing. And somewhere we as human beings are responsible for this. And I think the theme of the conference, the 2-day interdisciplinary international conference, also very well resonates with what we are experiencing. And this aims at finding solutions, I think workable solutions, if not solutions permanently and immediately that can be implemented. But yes, it gives us food for thought, wherein we can think about it. What are we leaving for our future generations? So if people like us, those who enjoy literature, those who are teaching literature in the field of education, we always have loved nature poetry. And I think somewhere all the poets, they have brought in environment in their writings. So I think it's worth, and it's a thought for food for all of us to deliberate upon such a grievous and serious situation that we all are facing, and probably it may aggravate in the future too. And having said that, and with the permission of all the collaborating institution, principals, our patrons, who have been a guiding force with all of us throughout our journey of organizing seminars and connecting and networking with people, with all our IQAC coordinators, our organizing secretaries, the organizing members of the various collaborative colleges, not last but not the least, our principals, who have been a guiding force and who've been encouraging all of us, and they've been pushing us to be independent. And I think, yes, we are to a certain extent have become very independent in organizing such events. And on this note, let me just take a quick recap of yesterday's proceedings that have happened, though it will be presented by the rapporteur Dr. Mrs. Wankide Madam in the valedictory session, but still to connect with all those who have joined us today or yesterday, just a recap of what has happened. We have had 2 technical sessions and both the sessions have been really enjoyed by all the participants, and their feedback in the form of calls and messages to all the organizing committee members have motivated us. And the speakers have resonated with the current issues, whether be it Dr. Nitin Labshetwar sir from NERI, Dr. Pant from South Africa, or with his wonderful mathematical theorems and constructions and that they have come up with. And yes, we hope that even today it will be more enjoyable as we are relaxed and sitting at home, and we are enjoying this 2-day interdisciplinary international conference with our resource person for technical session 3. We have with us Dr. Swapnil Dharaskar sir on behalf of all the collaborating institutions. I welcome you, sir. Though after my handing over it to Dr. Kalyani Thakre, it will be a formal in a session that we'll be proceeding into. And I also welcome Mr. Ambarish Ghatate sir, who will be there with us for technical session 4 today. Our chairperson for both the technical sessions, Dr. R.R. Patil sir, and we have with us Dr. Revatkar sir, Suresh Revatkar. We have Revatkar sir, who has joined with us. He was the chief guest and the chairperson of a few conferences, the seminars that were held on IPR, and yesterday he chaired the sessions. We welcome you, sir. And having said this, on behalf of all the collaborative institutions, I welcome you once again into day 2 of a 2-day interdisciplinary international conference on reimagining sciences in the wake of National Education Policy 2020, research, dissemination, and skill development. Over to you, Dr. Kalyani Thakre, ma'am, for further proceedings for technical session 3 of day 2.
Thank you, Vinita, ma'am. Yeah. With a happy Sunday, a very good morning to one and all. I, Dr. Kalyani Thakre, Head of the Department of Mathematics from Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalaya Devgram, feel privileged to welcome you all in the 3rd technical session of ongoing 2-day interdisciplinary international conference on reimagining sciences in the wake of NEP 2020, research, dissemination, and skill development, jointly organized by Bhivapur Mahavidyalaya Bhivapur in collaboration with Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalaya Devgram, KDK College of Engineering Nagpur, and Sai Baba Arts and Science College Parshiyani. It is said that aim of education is the knowledge not of fact but of values. It is on occasions like this we get opportunities where we can get exposure about what the best of the brains think about this very dynamic issue chosen for this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, for this we have with us a dynamic personality, Honorable Dr. Rajesh R. Patil sir. Dr. Rajesh Patil sir is a professor and in the Department of Physics, Government Institute of Forensic Science. His area of specialization is the solid state physics, electronics. He has published more than 50 research papers in international journals and more than 30 research papers in conferences. He has 1 UGC and 2 BRNS completed research projects in his credit. Under him, 9 research students have been awarded PhD degree. He is a life member of Materials Research Society, Luminescence Society of India. He is an executive member of Luminescence Society of India and member of Indian Association for Radiation Protection. He is one of the members of founder team of Institute of Forensic Science, Nagpur. He has to his credit many awards like Junior Research Fellowship, Associateship by Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad. In behalf of our institutions and esteemed participants, I heartily welcome you, sir, in this session. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome Our today's session's resource person, Dr. Swapnil Dhariskar sir, Associate Professor and Head in the Department of Chemical Engineering, School of Technology at Pandit Deendayal Energy University, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. I welcome you, sir. Before starting the session, I would like to introduce this eminent personality. Sir is currently working as an associate professor and head in the Department of Chemical Engineering, School of Technology at Pandit Deendayal Energy University, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. He has around 10 years of teaching and research experience. He worked as SERB Overseas Postdoctoral Researcher, Department of Green Chemistry, Lappeenranta University of Technology, Finland. He is invited as a visiting research scientist at Department of Green Chemistry, Finland. He is the PI of DST-sponsored project on CO2 separation under Mission Innovation Carbon Capture Scheme. He has published more than 60 research papers in international reviewed journals. He has attended 60 international and 15 national conferences. He has guided 6 PhD, where 2 are awarded and 4 are ongoing, with the 20 MTech and more than 60 BTech students. He is a fellow member of various professional bodies like IICHE, AICHE, Indian Water Association, Catalysis Society of India, American Chemical Society, IEI, ISTE, IAENG, ISRD, International Association of Nanotechnology, etc. He is also active reviewer of several high-repute international SCIE journals. He has the recipient of several professional and research excellence awards. So now I request Dr. Swapnil sir to please start this session and enlighten us for this expert talk. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dr. Kalyani ma'am, for giving wonderful interaction and introduction. So I just give me a minute to share my screen first. Yeah. Okay, my screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is it moving? Wait a minute.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, it's moving. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so a very good morning to all the participants. We can understand today is Sunday and you all are having a relaxed time, enjoying this time with your family members. So I'm just taking you a maximum 50 to 55 minutes to just deliver some important aspects as a part of this, the theme of this interdisciplinary international conference organized by, jointly with Bhivapur Mahavidyalaya and some other institutions from Nagpur. So, namaskar, sarvana majakade namaskar. Basically, I'm a Maharashtrian gentleman. I did my PhD from in Nagpur itself, and later I did my postdoc from Finland, and couple of years I was in US. So then I came back and joined in the Gujarat University as an associate professor and head. So once again, I'm very much thankful to Dr. Yogesh More from Bhivapur Mahavidyalaya to inviting me to delivering a talk on important topic that is on greener and cleaner approach on environmental sustainability for CO2 conversion and utilization. So, before we begin with the actual theme of my presentation, I just want to highlight some of the important, wait a minute, some of the important aspects about the national education policy, because the theme of this conference is reimagining science in the wake of NEP 2020. And as we all know, that what exactly the key principle involved in the National Education Policy 2020, where if we talk about the first aspect, that's respect for diversity and local context, where we are thinking more on the pedagogy and the policy making as a part of the curriculum and all. Then as a second point, it is based on the equity and inclusion, where we want to make the equal balance of the education. Then community participation, where all the universities can come together and do a good high level collaboration. Fourth, use of technology. That is really important because current is the era of the technology. You can see there are various vertical of machine learning, artificial intelligence, data sciences, IoT, Industry 4.0. Many of the today's generation is simply believe on the computer science and ICT is the part of the future technology. Then emphasis on conceptual understanding, where learning for exams with no rote learning. Then unique capability, recognizing, tapping them in a students. Critical thinking and creativity. This is this is very important parameter that we all need to think. That's critical thinking and creativity to boost logical decision making and innovation. And last one is continuous review, which build on sustained research and regular assessment by educational expert. So this is the key principles of NEP. And if we talk about the 17 sustainable goals, these are the sustainable goals. Everyone knew about being a science researcher, being a, the educationist, everyone is understanding the SDG. There are a few SDG that really matters a lot. And in this 17 SDG, some SDGs are really important for the societal and environmental concern point of view. One is clean water and sanitation, then affordable and clean energy, industry innovation and infrastructure, sustainable cities and community, responsible consumption and production, climate action, climate change. And the important part is life on land, because everyone being a researcher, we are trying hard to make our Mother Earth very balanced, and we would like to focus much on environmental sustainability issues. So these are some of the aspects about the NEP and SDG. And today I'm targeting on some of the research ideas which really can give the idea about the balance, how we can make the balance for environmental sustainability. And there are several approaches for greener and cleaner production of the carbon dioxide separation and their utilization. So I just want to give the brief idea about my research area. Basically, I did lots of work in the area of environmental chemistry and green chemistry. And there are some verticals where I'm targeting, so currently my research group is actually involved in nanomaterial and nanotechnological study. We also work on ionic liquid study, and currently we are more active in carbon dioxide capture study. And we have received lots of funding from the various agencies, including DST, DBT. There are so many industries. They have made a collaboration with us, including L&T and Apar Industry and Carbon Capture, Green Solutions, CCS Industry UK, CCS US, CCUS USA-based companies. We are doing work for we are also doing some consultancy for their ongoing projects and all. So this is, before going the actual talk of my presentation, I just want to highlight some of my research collaborators. They are from Mission Innovation, my country partners and industry partner as well, where you can see one side, Professor Mika Silenpa. He's a very well-known researcher in the area of environmental chemistry. And fortunately, he was my postdoctoral supervisor when I was in Finland. Then Professor Chang Kyu-yu, he's from Department of Environmental Science Engineering, Kyonghyu National University, South Korea. And another gentleman, he's from, Dr. T.C.S. Gupta. He's from R&D Apar Industry Limited, Private Limited, Mumbai. So these three gentlemen are actually involved in our ongoing research work. And recently we have got some funding from L&T because they have given us some task to convert carbon dioxide into some value-added product. And we are trying to focus on that part as well. Yeah. Now, if we... This is a simple picture. You can really visualize what is the current scenario, because earlier days we always whenever we go for walk, morning walk, we always able to get a fresh air. But if you look into the the state like Gujarat, because where the chemical industries are more, and then petroleum sectors is very, very vibrating. Here you can see the carbon dioxide emissions are very, very high. This is the major cause for the global warming effect. As ma'am told in the morning that current weather in Nagpur is very pleasant. We are about to reaching into the May, but still we are feeling like the rainy season. This is just happening because of what? Because of the unseasonable prediction conditions and because of the global warming effect. And that's why being a ideal researcher, being a researcher, our job is to work out, identify the best possible solutions. If we talk about the current policies of the various countries, even India made a statement that we want to minimize, we have a policy for net zero emission, and by 2070, we need to minimize all these carbon emission from the environment and make the Mother Earth very balanced. Likewise, all the governments, US, UK, Europe, and some other government, they have made the mandate to minimize the net zero emissions till 2060 or 2050. Now, why we need to have this kind of, why we want to solve this particular problem? As we all know, a greenhouse effect, okay? With the rapid economic and social development, the global warming caused by greenhouse gas emission, which is become very worse day by day. And in the field of energy, gas resources such as natural gas, shale gas, biogas, syngas, and other that contain certain amount of carbon dioxide as an impurity, and that decrease the heating value and quality of the gases. So therefore, the CO2 separation, CO2 capture, CO2 utilization is a become very important segment and most important options for greenhouse gas control and energy resource upgrading and purification. Now, the motivation behind to work on this topic, whatever point I mentioned, that is the motivation, and that's why we have submitted some of our idea to the government body, and we got very good funding from DST and other agencies. But what is the parameter which makes these greenhouse gases emission are responsible to create the greenhouse gas emissions? Here IPCC, it's the International Pollution Council. They have given the comparison. There are various industries. There are various segments, you can say, including energy industries, transportation, manufacturing industries, and there are some industries which is based on the fuel fugitive emissions. They are responsible, they are contributing, they are emitting high amount of, the gas emissions, and that is responsible to cause the global warming effect. You can visualize the sector-wise, percentage here. Energy industry is more, energy and transportation. And these are the most emitting, greenhouse. These are the most industry. These are responsible for more emission of the greenhouse gases and all. Now we can talk about this particular greenhouse gases that causes the global warming, and there are several segments where you can see one important parameter is rapid industrialization. Even in Maharashtra also, you can visualize that Nagpur, Pune, and then Ahmednagar, Mumbai. These are the very vibrating cities where the rapid industrialization is very happening. Earlier days when I was doing my PhD in the year of 2011 in VNIT, that time the atmosphere of the Nagpur was very pleasant. We really feel a very cool air, very clean air. But if you look into the current scenario, Nagpur is also feeling like a very busy city, like as a metro cities. So this is just happening because of, and again, ultimately it's causing lots of environmental issues and other concerns. This is just happening because of what? Because of rapid industrialization. Then we need to think, we are thinking much about the energy use. There are so many options for the energy vertical, like solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, and some other alternatives. We are trying to understand, we are really using a high amount of energy by the renewable sources. Then agricultural practices, again causing the global warming effects. Deforestation, this is the major important parameter, because ultimately, for any kind of road constructions, for any kind of buildings, first target is to just cut the tree, and then we can able to develop some different, because ultimately the agenda of the current government is to work on the smart cities and all. So ultimately, that's why but deforestation is not a current scenario. We are seeing in last 20 years lots of trees cut down to develop new things, and that again cause a global warming. Then consumer practices, pollution, and transportation. These are the major vertical which causes the global warming, and we are really facing lots of issues because of this global warming concerns and all. Now the effects, in terms of effects, if we talk, the first is the temperature rising. Yes, maybe in the next month we are feel that kind of heat in Gujarat. Almost 9 months is really hot. We need to run the AC. Without AC, we could not able to work in the Gujarat, and that's why the temperature, in Gujarat is a high percentage of global warming effects, right? Then sea level rising is another second effects of global warming. Third is unpredictable weather conditions. Currently, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, then MP, Gujarat, we are having the unpredictable rainy season, and that is happening because of this global warming effect. Increase in extreme weather events. Then land degradation. Land degradation is also happening because the fertility of the soil is not really good, and the farmer is facing lots of issues, and that is just happening because of the high heat and and not a proper not a good fertility of the soil. Then loss of wildlife and biodiversity. So these are the major causes and the effects of global warming. Now, if you look into the current statistic, every year there is a rise of 0.4 degree or 0.2 degree in terms of temperature rising. You can see, if you talk about 2014, 0.4, 2016, 0.6, 0.8, 1. Likewise, every year there's a 0.2 degree rise in our temperature, and that's why the global warming and the effects are very, very stringent. Now, being a researcher, we need to understand some possible solutions for CO2 reduction. Where first important solution is to switch to a low carbon economy. It means we have to work on there are various ways to reduce the carbon footprint. Okay. But being a responsible gentleman, we have to minimize the uses of the electricity, uses of some other things, so that we can able to minimize the carbon footprint. And for the sake of that, we need to understand a different methodology, different methods which can able to minimize, give you the proper balance on carbon footprint and all. Increasing system efficiency is the second solution, and third one is implementing the carbon capture, utilization, storage technology. Currently, as I mentioned, the majority of the government and the industries, they are really working hard how to minimize the net zero emission. Everybody is working on decarbonization concept. The company like Naira, L&T, Siemens, and the company like Thermax, the Praj, and so many industries. Their target is only on decarbonization, because everyone has a mandate to minimize the CO2 emission, and we have to make a balance for to minimize the global warming effects and all. Now, in terms of atmospheric concentration, if you look into the CO2 concentration year-wise, if we talk about 2070, the percentage in terms of ppm, the concentration of CO2 was around 405. And if you look into the current scenario, if we talk about 2022, it reached up to 420 or 425 ppm. So from 405 ppm to 425, it's a 20 ppm change in last 5 years, but we should have a control on that. Otherwise, if you talk about China, Japan, they are really facing the issue in terms of pollution. We cannot, because of COVID, we guys started wearing the mask, but in China, they already, there is a compulsory rule. We have to wear the mask because of the high pollution in the cities. Okay. So likewise, and this is happening just because of the higher percentage of the CO2 concentration into the air, and lots of industries are there, lots of development is happening, and that definitely causes the problem of the air pollution, which have the high percentage of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide kind of gases. Now there are certain ways, to work on this particular options, and there are certain options where you can say CO2 sources. There are various sources for CO2, which include fossil fuel source, natural CO2, high purity source, and industrial storage. This schematic can give you the idea about the source of CO2, the options for captures, then utilization options, and there are certain options for storage. So these all in a single schematic, you can able to understand from where the CO2 comes, how we need to work on the CO2 separations to capture the CO2, then how to utilize that CO2 to convert into some value-added product, which include methanol, hydrocarbons, and something like that. And again, once I develop such products, value-added products, how to store that particular products into the some other storage option that also is given here. So if we talk about capture options, there are different methods, which includes pre-combustion, oxy-fuel, chemical looping combustion. Probably yesterday you listened, Dr. Nitin Lapshetwar sir, he has done lots of work in the area of chemical looping combustion and trying to minimize the CO2 contents, CO2 content from the current scenario. So in the post-combustion capture also, right? And then there are some options like utilization options, where you can say the chemical synthesis, energy products. Currently, we guys are working with L&T to just convert a CO2, atmospheric CO2 also into the methanol conversion. We just try to identify how much CO2 we can able to convert into the value-added product, which includes one of the major segment is methanol. Then CO2 injection with some advanced techniques like EOR, then some other ground level techniques. And then as far as storage options are concerned, you can say oil and gas reservoir, deep saline aquifer, and CO2 mineralization, and unminable coal beds. These are some of the storage options where we can able to store the CO2. Now there are certain policies which is made by the government, and the necessity of this concern, as I discussed in some of my previous slide, it is the biggest environmental driver, and we have to reduce the CO2 content anyhow from the atmosphere, so that we can able to minimize the environmental pollution load, and that's why need to reduce the air pollution. Then policy, yes, there are certain agencies, including IPCC, they have certain mandates, and for that kind of mandate, recently G20 summit happened in Gujarat, and the 1 point agenda was we have to identify the best technology which can able to minimize the carbon emissions or the greenhouse emissions from from the various gases and all. So that is the one-time agenda. And technology, all industries are really working hard to develop some good technology where they can able to convert the utilized CO2 or whatever CO2 is present into the atmosphere. They want to capture that CO2 and utilize that CO2 into some value-added product, which includes ammonia, methanol, and hydrogen. Currently, green hydrogen is the most popular concept. Okay, green hydrogen is, there are different types of hydrogens, and many of the researchers like us, we are really working hard to produce the green hydrogen. And in our university, we have one center of excellence where we guys are working on the concepts of green hydrogen. We have established the center for CO2 also, where we are working on the conversion of CO2 for value-added product. Then the wind, solar, PV, lithium-ion batteries, intermediate enable cost have been falling by 20% for each doubling capacity. Currently, there's a trend of electric vehicle, and we all are very fascinated to buy the electric vehicle because we know that maybe in the days to come we might be facing some problem with the fuel availability. So electric vehicle hybrid system is really a good techniques which can able to minimize or make the balance of both the things properly. Chemical have potentially important. I request participant to please be on a mute mode. So chemicals have a potentially important role in energy storage. Now, I just want to highlight some of the aspects of the, because as I mentioned, we guys are working on the conversion of carbon dioxide into methanol. And that's why I just want to highlight few points about the methanol. Why methanol? And I think being a science background guys, you may understand why there is need to have a methanol and why methanol is really important. So methanol can serve as a convenient energy storage medium. It is easily transportable fuel. I think in Nagpur is a smart city, and where many of the vehicle is already running on the fuel ethanol blending. Recently, the government initiated the given the green signal to ethanol blend in with the biodiesel or ethanol blend with the diesel. So likewise, they are trying to minimize the actual consumption of the actual fuel with the substitute of some additional solvents. So methanol is a good solvent, and which is really building block for producing intermediates and synthetic hydrocarbon as well. Now, these are the various uses. You can see there are the various, because current market is, if you look into the current market statistic, methanol have lots of good uses, and there are so many different intermediate that can be developed, or value-added product can be developed through a methanol, where you can say methanol to gasoline, biodiesel, acetic acid, formaldehyde, fuel blending, dimethyl ether, methyl chloride, dimethyl terephthalate. Likewise, we can able to develop this kind of product at the industrial level. Yeah. Now, in the last 10 years, methanol production, if we talk about the current scenario of methanol and current market of the methanol, then we can say methanol production capacity and use have more than doubled from 40 metric ton to 100 metric ton. Currently, we guys are really utilizing methanol as a solvent for the various kinds of conversion of the products, and that's why the use of the methanol is really getting double in last 10 years. Around 2/3 is used in the production of chemical products, and 1/3 is used in the production of fuel. Recent applications such as methanol to olefins for plastic products are growing even faster. And you can see one side, you can see there are various products as I shown in the previous slide, and that's why internationally the methanol have a good market, and many of the industries are just trying to convert this CO2 into the methanol. And still they are facing certain issue to make this technique feasible, but maybe in very soon. I think the idea is the proof of concept is already ready with some company, and maybe in next couple of years, we are trying to develop the CO2 into a good quantity of methanol with a proper purity and other things. So you can see this is the statistic of the global market from if we talk about 2021, $29.4 million USD dollars. You can see up to 2028, there's a market of $38.9 million USD dollars. Now there are different types of techniques which are really important, and the processes for CO2 conversion, which depends mainly the CO2 conversion. We are trying to utilize a heterogeneous kind of catalysis, because catalysis is a more popular route to convert the CO2 into the methanol. And there are different types of catalysis, as we all know, heterogeneous and homogeneous. Again, there's a different route, electrochemical route, photochemical catalysis, and photoelectric chemical route with support of the catalyst. So these are some of the processes which are really, really important to convert CO2 into the value-added products. Now, if we talk about the, if we bifurcate the processes, if we categorize, if we talk the chemical, this processes falls like heterogeneous and homogeneous, where many of the industries are really focusing on the copper-based catalyst and ruthenium-based catalyst, then YAMO-based catalyst and some cobalt-based catalyst. If we talk about electrochemical, the pyridine-based catalysts are applicable. Photochemical, granular silicon carbide, and photoelectrochemical, titanium, means they are working on the nano level kind of material where titanium, calcium oxide, then some other kind of nanoparticles are really play a very important role. And that's why these two processes, chemical, electrochemical routes, are more popular, including photoelectrochemical route to convert CO2 into methanol. Now, these are the various routes as we have seen in the previous one. And if we to highlight the important part about the chemical here, the hydrogenation of CO2 with hydrogen is considered to be the most straightforward way for methanol production from CO2. That's why heterogeneous catalysis conversion is more advantageous in terms of separation, handling, stability, in terms of separation, stability of methanol, and handling and cost and recycling. There are other processes that are also very efficient for the conversion of CO2 into methanol, but they have certain restrictions. If we talk about electrochemical, CO2 conversion has been widely used on a laboratory scale. This method is very applicable. Many of the researchers, including various IITs, various research centers, they are working, they are utilizing electrochemical route to convert CO2. But this is just at the level implementation happen in the laboratory scale, but it has not been yet successfully implemented in the industrial processes. Then photochemical reactions and photochemical electrochemical reactions. Now, why methanol and steps towards carbon neutral production? There are different techniques. There are different methods which can with the support of that you can easily convert carbon dioxide into methanol. Like this is something, a steam methane reforming of natural gas. Everybody knows about this method. It's a steam reforming method, and this is applicable for the conversion of hydrocarbons into the methanol production. So 95% of all current methanol production is happening with this process, less than 0.3 tons of CO2 emission for each ton of methanol. So this is the USP of this particular process, and that's why majority of the industries currently following with the approach of SMR. But again, they're trying to work on the natural gas plus renewable sources plus CCS and CO2. This is a well-proven concept. Currently, majority of the researchers receive lots of funding on this particular idea, and they're really working hard to develop the concepts where they can prove to the government, yes, look, this is the technology which can give us the net zero emission from CO2. And this is a well-developed concept or well-proven concept, but sincerely speaking, not really practiced yet, but significant attention really required. And I think nowadays there are so many companies, they came forward and try to understand the significance of this particular technology and try to implement this technology into their premises. The renewable feedstock electrolysis, CCS, biobase, and again. So this is again one technique where water electrolysis is a derivative of proven chlorine electrolysis, carbon neutral, negative methanol production, and other things can be applicable in this particular process. But currently we guys are working into this vertical, and we really have a good set of results, proven results, and very promising results. And that based on that, we filed a couple of patents as well, and we are working with some good companies to make the things commercialized and scalable at the industrial level as well. Now, this is something, if we methanol process from different feedstocks, this is the, the process. I think I don't want to highlight much on that part. This is the process, the sources, how to convert methanol into the CO2. You can see the fermentation, biogas, ESMR, syngas, and then gasifications can be happening because pyrolysis and gasification, we have to keep the reactions into the higher temperature. Then conversion of CO2, carbon capture, then carbon dioxide, hydrogen is production is there with the support of electrolysis, and we can able to convert this. We can use methanol and S2 for the conversion of renewable electricity as well. Now, this is something, if we talk about methanol technology suppliers, there are so many industries, there are so many companies, they are the biggest supplier for these methanol technology supplier. and they use this methanol for their products. So Syntex, then Lurgi, Mitsubishi, Helder Topsy, Linde, these all are the companies. They are the biggest supplier of the methanol. And you can see these are the operating conditions where they are trying to convert the carbon dioxide into the methanol production. And there are various types of reactors they can use for this kind of conversion. Now, if we talk about the percentage-wise segment, the most, supplier, the biggest suppliers in terms of methanol production, or the biggest company, that is Syntex, which is able to convert 60% methanol. This is the 60% supplier of the methanol overall into 100%. You can say Mitsubishi, Lurgi is having a very small component, and some of the other industries are there. They're also working on the methanol production and try to develop a new technology for that. Now, this is something, as a part of the reactions, I think many of us really understand how the CO2 get converted into the methanol, how it reacted with hydrogen, and then there's a formation of methanol with the support of water and all. So these are the methanol making processes. And here you can see there are various uses of methanol, the uses of non-fossil fuel sources, avoidance of CO2 sequestration, which is very, very expensive, and mitigation of greenhouse effects by effective recycling of carbon dioxide. We have a climate change department at Gandhinagar, and I'm the part of their, some of their project activity as a panel expert. So we are trying to, this climate change department is really meant for what? They are trying to identify the best possible technology which can be able to minimize the carbon dioxide emissions and try to prevent the environmental pollution. So they are really working hard to conceptualize the policy document. Recently, our Honorable Prime Minister launched one book, the policy document, which is made by that government, which is made by that department, climate change department, in connections with IIM professors, IIT professors, and some of us are also actively involved for that policy making document. So if you visit on that climate change department, Gandhinagar, you can see the document and able to understand what kind of current policies government made to minimize the CO2 or the greenhouse gas emissions and all. These are the various catalysts. You can say there are different types of catalysts. I just given examples of some catalysts where copper-based, alumina-based, zinc-based. These are all of the proven catalysts, which are already, the literature is already available. Up to what quantity we are able to convert CO2 into methanol. And there are certain features about this particular, catalyst, where some of the catalysts withstand high temperature and pressure. Some have high selectivity, high activity, lifetime, during their lifetime period, 2 to 3 years, very efficient interaction between components in catalyst system. Likewise, there are some features of some catalysts, and that's why some of the catalysts are really, really promising for CO2 conversion into methanol. Now, this is, I just want to highlight one of the, plant, which is located at Iceland, it's George Ola CO2 to methanol plant in Iceland. So this is the first plant they is established in US to just look into the conversion of CO2 into methanol. You can see the first commissioning happening in the year of 2012, then upgrade 2015. Initial installed capacity is around 4,000 tons per year methanol, and CO2 conversion is around 5600 tons per year per CO2. And as far as electrolysis load is concerned, they have given here 6 megawatt base load. So this is the actual, the running and feasible plant. And with this concept, later on, many of the countries, they initiated this idea and trying to establish the similar kind of plants with some add-on technology into their own countries. Again, there is second plant. You can see, if we talk about methanol today, it's a hydrogen made by electrolysis. This is a more common concept nowadays. Everybody talk about green hydrogen, and nowadays government is diverting their funding from other research areas to, they're giving more focus on hydrogen concept. Green hydrogen is a most popular topic. It's a burning topic in current scenario, and government is giving lots of fund. If you guys have good proven concepts or good ideas to develop a green hydrogen, which is made by electrolysis, and the carbon dioxide are again here catalytically reacted to convert into methanol, right? So this is the carbon recycling. Here you can see the other side, you can see the carbon recycling international renewable methanol plant in Iceland, where methanol can be used in both international combustion engine and their fuel cell. Okay, even for the development of the in fuel cell, they again use the methanol. Now, these are some of the popular processes where we can able to convert CO2 to methanol process. How the CO2 is getting converted into the methanol, what kind of stages are there? You can see the CO2 source, it comes into the CO2 capture and get clean up, hydrogen generation through electrolysis, then compression will happen, syngas and methanol synthesis is getting, then crude methanol, and then finally the batch needs to send for the methanol purification. So likewise, there is a stage-wise procedure is happening in the plants, and they are trying to convert the CO2 into the methanol. Now, here you can see these are the various parameters. Based on that, you can say why there is need to go for this kind of technology because of high energy demands, low catalyst selectivity, intermittent renewable energy supply. Then reaction mechanism is still in dispute, but still because many of the researchers are really trying to work on to prove how this mechanism, how this particular catalyst is really promising for CO2 conversion. And some of the catalysts are again deactivation is also play very important role or maybe important parameter, and we have to work on that as well. So sorry. Yeah, so this is the conclusion of overall let's see, whatever slides I have shown right so far, this is the conclusion of that particular slide, where we can say one is catalytic hydrogenation of CO2 is the most straightforward way for methanol production from CO2. Then heterogeneous catalytic conversion is more advantageous in terms of separation, stability, handling cost, and recycling. Likewise, some of the part that we can just conclude based on that whatever slide I have shared with you. But now I'm trying to highlight the work which we guys are actually doing in our premises. Okay, just bear with me for next a few minutes, 5 minutes maximum. I will try to give the entire glimpse about what exactly we have done and how this technology can be benefited or maybe benefited to resolve some problems for CO2 capture and utilization. So currently, my research group is actively involved and actively working on the development of some membrane. We are trying to develop some membranes, which is already developed by some other researcher. But what we are trying to do, we are trying to develop liquid supported membrane, where we are trying to use nano additives or developing some ionic liquid support with the membranes and try to identify this kind of membranes technology is really, really efficient for CO2 separation or not. Because whatever funding we have received, that is just simply for the development of liquid supported membranes for CO2 separation. Now, there are the various methodology. There are different routes for these, the development of the membrane and CO2 separations, where one is biological route. Under that, if you talk about 5 years back, the most popular route was algal-based development, where algae and bacteria can convert the CO2 and able to capture the CO2 as well. But again being see in Maharashtra and other locations, we have a high temperature, so development of algae and prevention of algae is the biggest issue. So we could not able to carry forward the process for entire 1 year. We have to wait for a certain time period. And in ICT, I think in ICT Mumbai, they have a department of bioscience and engineering or maybe biotechnology, where they have developed this concept in a very well manner. There are different types of routes where absorption, adsorption, membrane separation, and cryogenic distillation is applicable. In our department, we guys are working hard on all these 4 segments. Some of our professors are working on absorption, some of our professors are working on adsorption, membrane separation. Our group is actually involved, and we are also working on cryogenic distillation. And these are the geological route. There's a department of petroleum engineering. They are working on geological route for the CO2 separation and sequestration methods. Since we have a background of chemical, we are trying to more focus on these 2 processes. One is adsorption and membrane separation. Here you can see as a part of the membrane, we are more focusing on inorganic membranes, polymeric membranes, and hybrid membranes. Hybrid membranes means mixed matrix membranes we are trying to develop. It's a combination of inorganic and organic, or with the support of some nano additives or some other solvents. So this is the, let's say, if you talk about the separation technology, there are pros and cons. So you can see the various techniques, ammonia process, amine scrubbing, and they have some certain pros and cons. I don't want to highlight this pros and cons at this moment, but keep in mind one thing: membrane technology and physical absorption, amine-based technique. These 3 techniques are really, really, if you look into the current scenario, the majority of the industry like NTPC, National Thermal Power Station, they preferred the amine-based techniques, because this is the most popular technique and it's a already scale up technique. That's why majority of the industries are going for amine scrubbing and physical absorption processes rather than approaching for ammonia and membrane technology. But membrane technology is a one technique where we can initiate it, and we are trying to develop some good concepts where and we want to scale up a few things in days to come. Now, why membrane technology? Many of us already, but this is not something that we guys are just simply doing a core membrane. We are developing some different support. We are trying to develop liquid supported membrane where the liquid support matters a lot, and that can, enhance the quality of the membrane for the CO2 separation for any processes. So these are some of the parameters where energy efficiency, low capital cost, low operational cost, and environmental friendly and operational simplicity. Now, as I mentioned, the ionic liquid that we are using, the nanoadditives that we are using for development of membrane based on certain properties, this liquid can be considered as a green solvents, and that's why we are trying to work on this particular concepts. And as you all of know, meaning of green solvent means low, no vapor pressure, no volatility and tunability, high heat capacity, high thermal stability. And for the sake of that low vapor pressure, we are trying to develop the membrane based on the ionic liquid support. These are the objectives of our work, and I just want to highlight some of our work, how we develop the membranes. You can see these are the various substrates that we have preferred polymer Papex as a support. This is support of the PVDF. We are trying to develop PTFE, PSA, PVDF, and some other kind of membranes with the support of liquid. And then these are some of the stages for the membrane casting. We have a good setup for membrane casting. With the support of that, we are able to develop the membrane first. Then we try to convert that membrane into the liquid supported membrane. So you can see here the various supports and various things. You can easily understand the concept of development of liquid support membrane, right? The fabrication of liquid supported membranes, you can see there is a set procedure, and I don't want to explain much on that procedure, but keep in mind one thing: we are able to develop a most promising liquid support membrane which gives you a good CO2 separation efficiency for any gas or any gas stream. So this is the final cutout of the membrane for gas formation, where 50, 10, and 20% wet percent we have added. Then as a part of characterization, as everybody knows, being a scientist, we have known the characterization matters a lot. And then, yeah, this is the actual setup which is available, which we develop with the support of DST sponsored project. This is the gas permeation setup specifically for our study. You can see different modules are there. We are working on hollow fiber, flat sheet membranes, hollow fiber membranes, and we are trying to develop mixed matrix membranes and identifying their gas permeation and gas separations from the stream. So this is the actual components of that setup, where MFCs are there, then module is there. Again, online GC measurement is possible, where we can able to see how much carbon dioxide is getting converted into the carbon dioxide conversion. You can see methane compositions, you can see hydrogen, nitrogen, everything you can easily visualize with the support of this online GC measurement. Again, as a part of some molecular study, we have worked on DFT analysis, where we as we know, being a chemistry gentleman, everybody understand what is DFT, and we just want to understand the band gap, the band density, optical density, band gap, interaction between the two molecules, specifically ionic liquids and the nanoadditives. So we have we have done the DFT study as well, where we have done molecular interactions of the ionic liquids for CO2 absorption. These are the various ionic liquids that we develop in our department, and trying to identify which ionic liquid is having a more affinity towards CO2 molecule, which can be used for CO2 and methane absorption. If you look into our study, you can see these are the reported types of ionic liquids with some support. We develop a different ionic liquid with different support, where we are able to get a CO2 methane selectivity around 21.47, and these is for methane, and for carbon dioxide it comes around 303. And so this is the selectivity matters a lot. So that's why we filed one patent on that idea, and recently that patent has been filed, not granted yet, but we are waiting for the result. But this is something that we are able to produce with this one. Again, I have done some collaboration work with so many other universities like Sunway University and University of Nottingham, UK, University of Monash. I don't want to highlight much part, but our group is actively involved on nanomaterial research, where we guys are working on amexine, graphene, carbon nanotubes, and some other kind of compounds that is specifically applicable for two areas. One is water purification, another is CO2 separations. We are trying to identify the use of amexine, graphene, and carbon nanotubes specifically for CO2 separation, because we already worked in the area of water purification. So you can see these are the various types of nanomaterial that we have developed in our department in collaborations with foreign universities. Various types of materials, 2D materials, graphene family, 2D oxides, like graphene versus graphite. I don't have much time to explain all these things because it's almost, we cross almost 12, but I just want to give you the quick, I just want to share my slides quickly, where you can visualize how to synthesize graphene oxide, how to work on the microwave synthesis procedure. Then you can see freestanding flame, then other things. These are the various prepared material which we prepared in our laboratory in collaborations with Sunway University, Taylor's University, University of Xiamen, US, China-based university, and Nottingham University. The 4 people are involved into this. So you can see different types of process technology which deposing, dispersing 2D materials. We have developed different types of 2D materials with many known procedures like physical vapor deposition, CVD, and then Sol-Gel method. There are certain news in amexines, and you can say this is the Asia Drexel Nanomaterial Institute. Recently, Professor Yuri Gogosti, who is the pioneer in the field of amexine, he visited in Malaysia, and that time we had a detailed conversation with him about the amexine ideas and new things. So this is something, various different types of amexine component you can see. Yeah, this is the Center of CO2 Excellence, which we developed in with the support of DBT and DST. From DBT, we have received around 1.2 CR funding, and from DST, we have received 60 lakhs funding. Recently, L&T given us around 70 lakhs for as a part of their CSR fund. So we are able to develop the Center for CO2 Research at PDEU. Along, some of my other professors are also involved as a part of this CO2 Research Center development. So so this might be the end of my talk. I strongly acknowledge the fundings, support agencies from the various sides like DST, DBT, you can say L&T and others. And this is this is our active researcher group, active research group of CO2. Currently, Dr. Komal Desai already graduated. He's about to complete his PhD, and this gentleman is again working on nanoadditives. He work on liquid supported membrane, and she work on the development of the ionic liquids for CO2 separations and defluoridation techniques. Dr. Sukanta Das is actively involved in terms of consultancy. Dr. Manish Sinha, he is more work on membrane-based technology. So this is our actual research group and very active research group in PDU. We are open for the collaborations. If any one of you is willing to do some work in the similar line, in water purification, in catalysis, gasification, CFD, molecular simulations, and CO2, you can approach me on my mobile number, and you can approach me on my email ID. We are open for collaborations and all. Thanks again, Dr. Yogesh More and the entire team of the organizing team of this conference for inviting me and giving me a wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts in front of the intellectual people. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights on many things like how atmospheric CO2 concentration has increased and global warming effects, causes, possible solution for. Am I audible to you all?
Now you're audible, ma'am. In between, your voice is. Yeah.
Okay, no problem, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights on many things. Like how atmospheric CO2 concentration has increased and global warming effects, its causes, possible solution for CO2 reduction, then CO2 separation technology, then how the methanol production from CO2 can be advantageous. So I must say it was really a wonderful and a fruitful session for all of us. Thank you, sir. But now the session is open for all. So anybody, if you want to ask the question to sir, you may then.
Yes, please.
Any questions from audience?
Any questions, please?
I think there are no questions because the presentation was really beautiful and clear, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you once again, Swapnil, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Before moving further, I would like to request all the participants to please mute your devices for the smooth conduction of the session. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Chairperson, Dr. Rajesh R. Patil, sir, to kindly say a few words.
So, thank you, Kalyani madam. Are you getting me? All of you
Yes,
getting
sir.
me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, we have a very wonderful talk by Dr. Swapnil Daraskar about the green cleaner approach for environmental sustainability for CO2 conversion and utilization. See, global warming is one of the major challenges in the history of mankind. Right, we have increased production, industrial production, and that increased the CO2 levels in our atmosphere, and that has causing a lot of problems. And since we cannot escape industry, we have to find solution regarding the decrease of CO2 levels in our atmosphere. And I think Dr. Dharaskar has done wonderful solutions to reduce the CO2 in the atmosphere, like methanol creation or methanol production by hydrogenation of the carbon dioxide in the air. And there are several aspects of other things like catalytic conversion and electrochemical as well as the photochemical conversion of CO2 into a useful product like methanol. Now, this research is one of the major research in that way in the 21st century. As you know, that this this will have impact on our future generation. I think this particular work he has presented before us enlighten us a lot of things about the CO2 conversion and its reduction in the atmosphere. I think it is a wonderful lecture, and hopefully all the participants have been benefited by hearing his lecture. I thank you very much, Dr. Swapnil Dharaskar, for his wonderful talk. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for the.
Thank you for your valuable address to our beloved participants, sir.
Thank you.
Now, at the end of this session, I would like to call Mr. Pritam Sukhdeve, sir, from Jivan Vikas Mahavidyalaya, Devgram, to propose a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, Pritam, sir.
Hello, ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, respected dignitaries and my dear audience. It's my immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks on this technical session. On behalf of whole organizing institution, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Swapnil Dharaskar, sir, key speaker of today's technical session, for gracing this occasion. Sir beautifully explained this his valuable research, ongoing projects, government issues, policies, environmental issues, and technology-based science-based solution for the environmental problems. Sir, this will surely, I said that the environmental issues and its solution, whatever the talk you have given, will be beneficial for us. It will also benefit for all the students for his upcoming problems and their studies. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitations and sharing a valuable research, valuable details with us. Thank you so much, sir. I'm also thankful Dr. Rajesh Patil, sir, chairman of this session, and gracing this occasion. Sir, your entire small discussion was really informative and motivative for us. Thank you so much, sir. I'm also thankful Dr. Kalani Thakre ma'am for hosting this session and giving a wonderful introduction of today's key speaker, Dr. Daraskar, sir. I'm also my deepest gratitude to all the participants, students, youngsters, environmental lovers for being a part of this conference. With this, I declare that this session is over. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now we are starting this technical session 4. So I request Vinod Purkam sir to please host the next session. Over to you, Vinod sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I am audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
Thank you. It is immense pleasure to all of you to kindly attend the two-day interdisciplinary international conference on reimagining sciences in the wake of NP 2020 research, dissemination and skill development, who jointly organized by Bhivapur Mahavidyalay Bhivapur in collaboration with Jivan Vikas Mahavidyalay Devgram, KDK College of Engineering Nagpur and Sai Baba Arts and Science College Parshivni. So this is the time to technical session 4 of the two-day international conference, and we have the chairperson, that is the R.R. Patil sir, Professor, Head of the Department Physics, Government Institute of Science, Nagpur. They also with us in the technical session 3 also. I welcome the R.R. Patil sir, and today's eminent resource person, the Amrish Ghatade sir, is the director of Manas Ayurveda, which deals in Ayurvedic raw materials, Ayurvedic medicine, and Ayurvedic product manufacturing, trading, and distributorship. So, Ghatade sir have working since last 20 years in the field of medicinal plants, working for conservation of rare, threatened, and endangered medicinal plant species, and also develop medicinal plant nursery and biodiversity park also. They have they are member of ethical committee of Government Ayurved College since 2018, and this committee conduct Viva for the PhD student and research scholars. They also institutional member of Institutional Ethical Committee, Regional Ayurveda Research Institute, Nagpur. Sir have conducted regular lecturer and training program to trainee from the Agricultural Department, Forest Department, Social Forestry Department, various workshop and seminars, various science colleges and other general colleges. Sir undertake a long-term and short-term plantation project also for corporate and non-corporate clients. Sir, as the president of a community-based organization named Ayurveda Foundation, which strives for conservation, preservation, and propagation of RET medicinal plant species. Sir, are the trustee of Sri Vivekanand Deshmukh High School, Sri Vivekanand Deshmukh Junior College, Mahila Kanishta Mahavidyalaya. Sir, also the trustee of Anath Vidyarthi Gruha Trust run for the orphan children, and sir have received many awards. So sir have received a prestigious VD Khadiwale One Mitra Puraskar for the contribution in the field of medicinal plant conservation. Sir also honored by the Patanjali Yog Pratishthan for contribution in Adarsh Yojana mission. Sir also awarded Aushadhi Vanaspati Samvardhan Puraskar by the hands of Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan at Antarrashtriya Van Mela for commendable work in the field of medicinal plant conservation. They are also awarded for best marketing of medicinal plants at the International One Mela. Sir also received a precious VD Vartak One Mitra Puraskar given by VD Khadiwale Sanstha Pune. Ambarish sir also received Patanjali Yogpeeth's Vriksha Mitra Puraskar for the plantation drive undertaken, and sir have the expert for the many committees like ethical committee member of Government Ayurvedic College Nagpur, ethical committee member of Regional Ayurvedic Research Institute Nagpur for
सर आपण म्यूट झाला.
विनोद सर तुम्ही म्यूट झालात.
sorry. So, sir are the expert of various committees, and sir have participated in international, national, state level, and local level workshop and seminars. Sir have participated in national workshop for ITO, means International Tropical Timber Organization. They organized by the PCCS Nagpur Forest Department, and sir have also participated in national seminar by Agriculture Department, national workshop by PKV Maharashtra, national workshop by PKV Maharashtra cultivation for the cultivation practices, and sir have also participate in many international and national organizations. Sir have the research in sir have research in exclusive research in the Brahmi Pharmacy Department, RTM Nagpur University, exclusive and elaborated research on Manduka Parni Pharmacy Department, RTM Nagpur University. Sir signed various MOUs for the research on various medicinal plant and their medicinal properties with the collaboration of with Kamala Nehru College Nagpur, and sir also feliciting the research work and thesis work to students of different faculties like Ayurveda, pharmacy, botany, homeopathy, veterinary by providing herb in wet and well preserved form as per the research requirement. Also, sir have MOUs with the various colleges and university. The lecture delivered, sir have the no, sir said that there has the no tab to count the number of type of lecture delivered, because it has become a routine rituals for them. So sir delivered a lecture on medicinal plants in various activities like the state level workshop on cultivation of medicinal plant at NMPB Pune, lecture on medicinal plant cultivation Punjab Deshmukh Krishi Vidyapit Akola, uses of medicinal herb and income generation from EAT, organized by Vasundhara Education and Welfare Association. So there are so many lectures delivered by the sir. So I please welcome you, sir, for the technical session 4, Dr. Amresh Ghatate sir, and I'm welcoming with the permission of all the organization committee mentors, and I welcome to sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
नमस्कार सर. ऑडिबल आहे का?
हो सर.
हॅलो.
हॅलो.
हा, ऑडिबल?
येस सर. येस सर.
आहे?
येस सर. येस सर.
यस सर. यस सर.
ओके. हाँ, नमस्कार, मैं अमरीश घटाटे. सर और मैडम, मैं हिंदी में ही बोलना चाहूंगा, तो मैं थोड़ा ज्यादा अच्छा बोल सकूंगा. एक्चुअली अभी 2 दिन से ये जो पूरा सेमिनार चल रहा है, तो उसमें ग्लोबल वार्मिंग एक बहुत बड़ा शब्द सभी मान्यवरों ने बोला है उस बारे में। तो ग्लोबल ग्लोबल वार्मिंग जो है, ये इस बारे में हम लोग सभी लोग जानते हैं। बेसिकली मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स भी एक बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है ग्लोबल वार्मिंग के लिए, क्योंकि गए 5000 साल से मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स ये सिर्फ हम लोग कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, कलेक्शन कर रहे हैं। और जितनी भी आयुर्वेद इंडस्ट्री है, बड़ी बड़ी या छोटी, जितने भी देश में है विदेश में है, जितनी भी आयुर्वेदिक बड़ी कंपनियां हैं, वो सभी कलेक्शन कर रही है। मतलब करीबन 90% मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स ये फॉरेस्ट में से आ रहे हैं, और 5 to 10% सिर्फ कल्टीवेशन हो रहा है। तो इसका भी आप ध्यान हम लोगों को रखना चाहिए कि गए मतलब 20 साल से मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स की, आयुर्वेद की डिमांड बढ़ गई है, और आफ्टर कोविड तो मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स की बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे डिमांड बढ़ गई है। इस कारण हम लोग जो कलेक्शन करते थे मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स बिफोर 15 ईयर्स 20 ईयर्स, क्योंकि मैं जब स्टार्ट किया था इस फील्ड में काम करना, तब उनको एक नॉलेज था मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स का कलेक्शन कैसा करने का, साइंटिफिक से कैसा करने का। जैसा एक मैं एग्जांपल देता हूँ। मैं एक्चुअली डायरेक्ट पॉइंट पे आ रहा हूँ, इसलिए मैं थोड़ा सा स्टार्टिंग का कुछ बोला नहीं सेमिनार के बारे में, टाइम कम होने के कारण। तो जैसा एक कलेक्शन करते थे, तो एक मैं आपको एग्जांपल देना चाहूंगा कि अर्जुन अरिष्ट आप सब जन जानते हैं। तो अर्जुन का बार्क यूज होता है अर्जुन अरिष्ट में, और उसका हार्ट के लिए भी यूज होता है, इसलिए वो बड़े पैमाने पे भारत में और भारत के बाहर में भी उसका काढ़ा पिया जाता है। तो एक एग्जांपल के तौर पे मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि पहले जो कलेक्शन करते थे रॉ मटेरियल का, तो जो भी आदिवासी बंधु थे या जो कलेक्शन करते थे, उनको पता था कि प्लांट को कैसा मेंटेन रखना है, हमको हर साल उससे पैसा निकालना है। तो वो फर्स्ट ईयर एक साइड से बार्क निकालते थे, सेकेंड ईयर से पीछे से निकालते थे, थर्ड ईयर साइड से, और फोर्थ ईयर साइड से। तो ऐसा अल्टरनेट वो ईयर निकालते थे। तो इस इसमें क्या हो रहा है अभी, क्या हो रहा है अभी के जो कलेक्शन कर रहे हैं बहुत मैक्सिमम लोग, उसमें का पूरा प्लांट का ही बार्क निकाल लेते हैं, ताकि उनको एक ही इसमें पैसा मिल जाए। तो ये प्रॉब्लम बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे हो रहा है, और बहुत सारे स्पीशीज में हो रहा है। जैसा कत्था, खैर आप सुनते हैं, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है 30-40 साल बाद हमको बताना पड़ेगा अपने बच्चों को और पोतों को कि हम लोग पान खाते थे, क्योंकि पान में हम लोग चूना लगाते हैं, चूना के बाद कत्था लगाते हैं, लेकिन कत्था के प्लांट ही नहीं अभी बचने वाले। क्योंकि एक एग्जांपल मैं ऐसा देना चाहूंगा कि जितने भी शहर के नजदीक जो फार्मर्स है, वो बड़ी बड़ी खेतियां लेते हैं, बड़े बड़े प्लॉट्स लेते हैं, और सबसे खेती लेने के बाद पहला काम ये करते हैं कि एक जेसीबी बुला के पूरे जितने भी जंगली प्लांट रहते हैं, जो काटेरी हम लोग बोलते हैं, जैसा बबूल हो गया, खैर हो गया, चीवर हो गया, ये जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट प्लांट्स है, स्थानिक प्लांट है, इंडिजिनियस प्लांट्स है, वो पहले जेसीबी से निकाल के उसको जला के खत्म कर देते। और फिर मेरे यहाँ पे मेरे पास आते हैं कि एज अ कंसल्टेंसी करके कि हम लोगों ने अभी कौन से प्लांट्स लगाने चाहिए। तो ये भी ऐसे छोटे छोटे इतने प्रॉब्लम्स है हमारे पास कि ये ग्लोबल वार्मिंग बढ़ रहा है। एक्चुअली जितने भी स्थानिक प्लांट है वो वैसे ही रखने चाहिए। एक तो ये भी अपने सॉल्यूशंस बहुत सारे अपने पास है। दूसरा, और एक ऐसा प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है कि जैसा जो संतरा है उस पे पोलिनेशन का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है। बहुत सारे प्लांट पे पोलिनेशन का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है। उसका भी मैं ऐसा समझूंगा कि बेसिकली प्रॉब्लम जो है वो हम लोगों ने, हम सभी फार्मर ने मेड़ों पे प्लांट रखना बंद कर दिया है। जितने भी मेड़ों पे प्लांट रहते उसको हम पहले खत्म कर देते। उसका रीजन ये है कि मतलब फार्मर्स का कहना है कि वहां पे बंदर आते हैं, फिर खराब करते हैं, फिर चिड़िया पंछी आते हैं, वो भी सब अपना जो पिक है तो वो खराब कर देते हैं। तो एक्चुअली हुआ यूं कि सभी लोगों ने ये प्लांट निकालना चालू कर दिया, इसलिए वो बंदर और जहां मिल गया उस पे सब भिड़ जाते हैं शॉर्ट में। तो ये ऐसे छोटे छोटे जो प्रॉब्लम्स है, इसके कारण हमारा बायोडाइवर्सिटी खत्म हो रही है। एक्चुअली बायोडाइवर्सिटी भारत में सबसे ज्यादा पूरे वर्ल्ड में, पृथ्वी पे जितना भी हम देश हो गए, मेरे ख्याल से इंडिया में सबसे अलग प्रकार की बायोडाइवर्सिटी है। जैसे आप देखेंगे कि पूरब में आसाम और वो सब भाग में अब जो प्लांट्स है वो हमारे बाकी के इंडिया में, भारत में नहीं है। राजस्थान में गुगुल जैसा प्लांट है, टेकोमा अंडुलाटा जैसा प्लांट है, वो राजस्थान गुजरात में है, वो हमारे सेंट्रल इंडिया में भी नहीं है। साउथ के प्लांट्स है, हिमाचल के अलग प्लांट्स है, हिमालय के, कश्मीर और यहाँ पे के प्लांट्स अलग है, और सेंट्रल इंडिया के अलग है। तो वो हम लोगों को अगर देखा जाए तो इतनी प्लांट बायोडाइवर्सिटी पूरे वर्ल्ड में कोई भी देश में नहीं है, ऐसा मैं कहना चाहूंगा। लेकिन फिर चाइना में भी भारत से बहुत कम बायोडाइवर्सिटी है, लेकिन इतना नहीं है, प्लांट्स इतने नहीं है। फिर भी चाइना वर्ल्ड मार्केट में करीबन 24% उसका वर्ल्ड मार्केट में हर्बल बिजनेस है, और मेरे ख्याल से भारत का जो है वो अभी 6% तक गया है। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है ये एक्चुअली इन भारत का इंटरनेशनल मार्केट ज्यादा होना चाहिए था। लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इसमें दो रीजन है। क्योंकि सबसे पहला रीजन तो है कि हमारे जो पैथी है, आयुर्वेद या यूनानी या जो हमारी पैथी है, उस पर हमारा विश्वास नहीं है। सबसे पहला मुद्दा ये है। और दूसरा, अभी तक हमको राजाश्रय नहीं था, गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट नहीं था। और यही दोनों, मतलब गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट चाइना में सभी लोगों को था, और चाइनीज लोगों का उनके मेडिसिन पे पूरा विश्वास है, इसलिए चाइना हमारे आगे अभी भी है। तो लेकिन अभी हमको आयुष के थ्रू अभी गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट बढ़ रहा है, तो शायद हमारी कुछ परिस्थिति बदल सकती है। जैसा एक दूसरा एक ऐसा है कि हम लोगों को अवेयरनेस नहीं है, या मैं कहूँगा कि थोड़ा सा हम लोगों को रिसर्च में थोड़ा ध्यान देना पड़ेगा। एक एग्जांपल मैं बताना चाहूंगा आपको कि 15 साल पहले हमारे पास एक नरकिया नाम की एक वनस्पति थी कोल्हापुर एरिया में, जिसको मापिया फोर्टिडा, ये साइंटिफिक नाम है उसका। वो बड़े पैमाने पे, जैसा नागपुर के पास पूरी टीपुर लगा हुआ है अमरावती रोड पे, वैसा बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे थी। लेकिन जापान ने हम लोगों को डिमांड किया, एक ही कंसाइनमेंट में हमको पूरा वो नरकिया का प्लांट दे दो। तो हम लोगों ने जलाऊ, मतलब हमारे पास कोई काम का नहीं था वो, हमारे पास उस पर रिसर्च नहीं हुआ था, तो हम लोगों ने उसको 20 रुपीज पर केजी से जापान को सेल कर दिया एक कंसाइनमेंट में। बड़े बड़े जहाज हमारे यहाँ से गए, उनके पास पहुंचे, लेकिन उनका एक रिसर्च हो चुका था एंटी कैंसर का दवाई पे, और उन्होंने मतलब 5-6 साल पहले ये भारत से वो लेके गए थे। कैसे ले गए थे पता नहीं, लेकिन उनके पास वो प्लांट था, उन पे एंटी कैंसर का रिसर्च किया। हम लोगों के पास से उन्होंने 20 रुपीज पर केजी से प्लांट खरीदा, और उसको कन्वर्ट किया एंटी कैंसर मेडिसिन में, और वो वर्ल्ड मार्केट में 20 लाख रुपीज पर केजी बेचा। तो ये कहना चाहूंगा कि हमारा जो रिसर्च है, तो रिसर्च तो होता है, लेकिन वो एक्चुअली मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कमर्शियल भी वायबल होना चाहिए। मतलब वो भी अगर हम लोग कर सके, ताकि हम लोगों ने जैसा एक एग्जांपल पकड़ते हैं कि इसको हम लोग मल्टीप्लिकेशन भी कर सकते थे, और अभी बहुत प्लांट कम बचे हैं, मतलब बहुत उसको अभी मतलब सपोर्ट दिया गया है उसको कंजर्व करने के लिए। तो ये ऐसी छोटी छोटी प्रॉब्लम्स है। जैसा और एक एग्जांपल मैं देना चाहूंगा कि बायोडाइवर्सिटी जो हमने औरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क डेवलप किया है 2015 में, पूरी बैरन लैंड थी, और आज 2023 में अच्छा एक जंगल बन गया है। उसमें बिल्कुल मतलब खड़े रहने के लिए भी जगह नहीं थी, धूपकाले में कोई छाया की जगह नहीं थी, तो अभी अच्छा जंगल होने के कारण 700 मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स है। अब वो 700 मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स सिर्फ हमारे औरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क में ही है, करीबन 7, 6.5, 7 एकड़ का वो एरिया है। अभी पूरे धूपकाली में ग्रीन है। लेकिन जंगल के बाहर हम लोग अगर जाते हैं तो अलग अलग बर्ड्स दिखते हैं। लेकिन हम औरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क में आते हैं तो बायोडायवर्सिटी टोटल चेंज हो गई रहती है। यहाँ के बर्ड्स और बाहर के बर्ड्स तो दोनों इसमें फर्क रहता है। तो बायोडायवर्सिटी बढ़ाने के लिए हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, ये भी एक विषय है। मतलब उससे हमारा ग्लोबल वार्मिंग कम हो सकता है। अब हम लोगों ने 2015 में जमीन लिया, 2016 में स्टार्टिंग में मैंने शतावरी एस्पैरेगस रेसिमोसस पूरे 6.5 एकड़ में कंपाउंड पे तार के ऊपर लगा दिया। उस पे लगाने के बाद 2018 में उसको सीड्स आए, और 2020 में हमारा जो गैया चराने जाता है, वो कहता है सर हम लोगों ने जो पौधे लगाए हैं शतावरी, और उसने 8-10 पौधों के नाम लिए, वो सब जंगल में दिख रहे हैं। बोले जिंदगी भर मैं बचपन से मैं गैया चरा रहा हूँ, लेकिन ये प्लांट नहीं दिख रहे थे मेरे को जंगल में। तो मैं, मतलब ऐसा है कि हम लोगों ने 6.5 एकड़ में पूरा कंजर्वेशन किया, उसको प्रोटेक्ट किया वो प्लांट्स को, और वो प्लांट प्रोटेक्ट होने के बाद करीबन आजू बाजू के 10-15 एकड़ में वो नेचुरली तरीके से वो बायोडाइवर्सिटी बढ़ी। दो इससे, एक तो पंछी बर्ड्स उसको खा के बाहर जाते हैं और विष्ठा करते हैं, तो उससे भी हमारा मल्टीप्लिकेशन बढ़ता है। दूसरा अ, हवा हवा के कारण भी बहुत सारे सीड्स उड़ के वहां पे होते हैं। तो मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि हम लोगों को एक ऐसा, अभी सभी बड़े बड़े लोग इस सेमिनार में है, तो मैं उनको ये कहना चाहूंगा, और बड़े बड़े पोस्ट पे भी है, तो हमारे हर 50 किलोमीटर पे हमारा एक एक बायोडायवर्सिटी पार्क बनता है और वहाँ पे इंडिजिनियस प्लांट्स लगाए जाते हैं। तो एक बहुत बड़ा बायोडायवर्सिटी और ग्लोबल वार्मिंग को हम लोग कम कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि बड़े पैमाने पे हर साल गवर्नमेंट ट्रीज लगाती है, लेकिन उसमें सक्सेस कम रहता है, ये सभी को पता है। तो अगर हम लोग उतना बड़े पैमाने पे खर्चा ना करते हुए एक 20-20 एकड़, 15-15 एकड़, जितने भी हम लोग कर सकते हैं, उसको अगर पूरा खर्चा देते हैं, गवर्नमेंट से करवा लेते हैं, एनजीओ ऐसे अगर करते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से अभी देखिए 6.5 एकड़ में मैंने 700 प्लांट्स लगाए हैं। तो इस तरीके से अगर हम लोग 20 एकड़ में अगर लगाए तो 1000 प्लांट की पॉपुलेशन आराम से रह सकती है। उसमें ट्रीज, श्रब्स, हर्ब्स, क्लाइंबर, क्रीपर सब आ जाते हैं, और एक वाटर बॉडी। तो इस तरीके से हम लोगों ने अगर हर 150 किलोमीटर, 100 किलोमीटर पे अगर बायोडायवर्सिटी पार्क करके उसको कंजर्व करते, तो नेचुरली ये बायोडायवर्सिटी बढ़ सकती है, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग कम हो सकता है। अभी एक दूसरा ऐसा है कि ये सबसे, मैं ऐसा कहूंगा, उसके पहले आयुर्वेद का जो डिमांड बढ़ रहा है, आयुर्वेद का रॉ मटेरियल की डिमांड बढ़ रही है। तो अभी आ रहा है न्यूट्रास्यूटिकल भारत में, वो तो सभी को पता है। आयुर्वेद में 100 किलो अगर अश्वगंधा का रूट किसी को, एक आधी कंपनी को लगता है, तो अगर वही न्यूट्रास्यूटिकल कंपनी है तो उसको वो 1000 किलो लगेगा, क्योंकि उसका वो एक्सट्रैक्ट निकलती है। मतलब एक आधे रॉयल फेयर सरपेंटिना में क्या, अश्वगंधा में मिथानी सोमनीफेरा अलग किया और बाकी के जो भी कंटेंट है वो उसको कोई काम के नहीं रहते। तो इस तरीके से रॉ मटेरियल की डिमांड आने वाले सालों में इतने बड़े पैमाने पे बढ़ने वाली है, हम लोग, भारत उसको कंप्लीट कर ही नहीं सकता। और इसके लिए हम लोगों को बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे प्लांटेशन करना जरूरी है। और सबसे बड़ा हमारे पास इशू ये आने वाला है, अगर हमको प्लांटेशन करना है तो 1 एकड़, अब जैसा आपने सुना होगा दशमूला रिक्त, आपने सुना होगा, उसमें फिर दूसरा रासना है, सर्पगंधा है, और 10 अलग प्लांट। एक एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं मैं, हम लोगों को 10 एकड़ में यूरेरिया पिक्टा, एक लघु पंचमूल दशमूल का आता है, वो अगर लगाना है, तो आप मेरे को 10 एकड़ के लिए सीड ला के दीजिए। मैं कहूंगा कि आप दे ही नहीं सकेंगे। अगर किसके पास है तो मैं बहुत बहुत उनका धन्यवाद करूंगा कि मुझे दीजिए, मैं उसको मल्टीप्लाई करना चाहूंगा। हमारे पास सीड्स भी अवेलेबल नहीं है, मदर प्लांट अवेलेबल नहीं है, अगर हम लोगों को कल्टीवेशन प्लांटेशन बढ़ाना है तो। सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा है कि हमको मदर प्लांट लगाना है। अगर मदर प्लांट हमारे पास नहीं रहेंगे तो आगे का कुछ भविष्य हमारा बहुत खतरनाक भविष्य है। हम लोग तो प्लांटेशन कर रहे हैं बड़े पैमाने पे, लेकिन कौन से प्लांट लगाना चाहिए ये भी हम लोगों को अभी तक पता नहीं है। तो ये भी मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि जब भी हम लोग, अभी बारिश आएंगी जून जुलाई में, तो इंडिजिनियस प्लांट लगाना जरूरी है। हाईवेज पे, हमारे घर के बाजू में, हमारे आजू बाजू के जो गार्डन्स है वहां पे ये स्पीशीज बहुत लगाना जरूरी है। जैसा एक एग्जांपल मैं और एक देना चाहूंगा, हर कॉलेज में, हर गार्डन में एक प्लांट रहना चाहिए जो है सीता अशोक। थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में रिसर्च चल रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि सीता अशोक, अशोक वन में जो सीता अशोक, सरा का अशोका जो लगाया था, जहाँ सीता मैया को रावण ने रखा था, तो ये अशोक, सीता अशोक के झाड़ के नीचे बैठने से एंजाइटी बढ़ती है, एंजाइटी कम होती है। तो ऐसे प्लांट्स, बहुत सारे प्लांट्स पे काम हो रहा है और काम होना चाहिए, जो हमारे आयुर्वेद में प्रभावकारी वनस्पति बोली गई है, सिर्फ प्रभाव से काम करने करती है वो। मतलब आप अपने हाथों में, जैसा मैंने और एक एग्जांपल मैं प्रभावकारी वनस्पति का देना चाहूंगा, कि ताकि मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स के बारे में जागरूकता भी बढ़े और उसके इंटरेस्ट भी बढ़े और उसका प्लांटेशन हो, इसलिए मैं ये कुछ चीजें आपके सामने रखना चाहूंगा। जैसे मैं ना एक मेरा खुद का एक्सपीरियंस में बताना चाहता हूँ। हमारे एक पार्श्वनी में जमीन थी, वहां पे एक बछड़ा, गैया को बच्चा हो रहा था, और वो बच्चा बाहर आ गया, आधा बाहर आ गया और आधा वो आ नहीं सक रहा था, कोई प्रॉब्लम हो गया था। डॉक्टर को फोन किया तो वो बोले कि मैं आधा पौन घंटा आ नहीं सकता, दूर हूं मैं। तो उसमें बच्चा मर सकता था या गैया मर सकती थी। तो उसको मैंने सिर्फ बोला, मेरे को एक पता था आघाड़ा, आपको सभी को पता है, उसको खुसरा भी बोलते हैं। जो 21 पत्रियां हैं गणपति को जो चढ़ाते हैं, उसमें वो आघाड़ा आता है। तो आघाड़ा जो है उसका जड़ निकालने को बोला मैंने, और गैया के पेट को पकड़ के रखने को बोल दिया। जैसा गैया के पेट को पकड़ा उसने तो पूरा बच्चा अच्छे से बाहर आ गया तुरंत, कोई मतलब 1 मिनट भी नहीं लगा। अगर वो जड़ हम लोगों ने उसके पेट में इसके दूर नहीं किया तो यूट्रस बाहर आ सकता है। तो ये हो गई प्रभावकारी वनस्पति। ऐसी आयुर्वेद में प्रभावकारी वनस्पति बहुत सारी है। इसमें से हम लोग इतनी मतलब मेडिसिन बना सकते हैं। जैसा मैं ऑरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क में 700 मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स के पास जब जाता हूँ बच्चों को बताने के लिए, तो एक एक प्लांट मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक एक इंडस्ट्री हो सकती है। मेरे पास ऐसी 50 प्लांट्स है जो एक बड़ी इंडस्ट्री बन सकती है। एक एक प्लांट पे एक एक जन ने काम किया। सिर्फ 100 कुछ प्लांट 10 एकड़ लगाए, कुछ प्लांट 100 एकड़ लगा दिए, तो एक बड़ी इंडस्ट्री खड़ी हो सकती है। इतना हमारे पास एक अपनी धरोहर है। तो ऐसा मैं कहूंगा कि ये एक हो गए। और दूसरा अभी ये दूसरा, हम लोग बड़े पैमाने पे अगर हमको प्लांटेशन करना है तो हमारे पास ऑप्शन है। गवर्नमेंट बड़े पैमाने पे प्रैक्टिकली नहीं कर सकती, उनको भी बड़े बड़े अलग अलग प्रॉब्लम्स है। दूसरा, फार्मर्स लगा नहीं सकते क्योंकि वेटिंग पीरियड है। तीसरा ये विषय है कि फार्मर्स नहीं लगाएंगे। और तीसरा, आयुर्वेदिक कंपनियां का कहना है कि हम आयुर्वेदिक प्रोडक्ट करें या हम लोग कल्टीवेशन करें तो हमारा इधर ध्यान नहीं बढ़ जाएगा। तो वो भी नहीं कर सकते। फिर ये प्लांटेशन करेगा कौन? ये एक बहुत बड़ा हमारे पास प्रॉब्लम है। तो इस पे हम लोगों ने एक सोल्यूशन निकाला है। जैसे अभी हमारे पास बहुत सारे फार्मर्स है जिनके पास वो जमीन के ऊपर डिपेंड नहीं है, मतलब फार्मिंग पे डिपेंड नहीं है, उनका अलग व्यवसाय है। कुछ गवर्नमेंट जॉब में है और एक जमीन खरीद के रखी है, शौक के कारण भी है या इंटरेस्ट के कारण भी है। तो उन्होंने 5 एकड़, 10 एकड़, 15 एकड़, 20 एकड़ ऐसी जमीन खरीदे रखी है। और एक फार्म हाउस है, कंपाउंड है, पानी है, चौकीदार है, और हर साल वो कुछ ना कुछ तो भी बोते हैं। और 100% नेट प्रॉफिट, नेट लॉस में रहते हैं। तो ये नेट लॉस वो कर ही रहे हैं, हर महीने खर्चा कर ही रहे हैं। तो ऐसे कुछ फार्मर्स को हम लोगों ने अभी मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स लगाने के लिए हम लोग उनको आह्वान कर रहे हैं और बहुत अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स आ रहा है। उसमें हम लोग उनको ये कह रहे हैं कि आपकी जितनी भी जमीन है, 5 एकड़ हो, 10 एकड़ हो, 2 एकड़ हो, जितने भी हो, आप आपकी जमीन के 10 to 20% तो भी आप बायोडाइवर्सिटी प्लांटेशन कीजिए। हम लोग उसको पूरा उनको गाइड करते हैं। पश्चिम में झाड़ कौन से, पूरब में कौन से, उत्तर में कौन से, सेंटर में कौन से, वाटर बॉडी कहाँ रहनी चाहिए, सब हम लोग गाइड करते हैं। एक तो 10 to 20% उन्होंने डायरेक्ट जंगल बनाना है या पेरीफेरी पे लगाना है, मतलब कंपाउंड पे लगाना है। तो हमारा जब ये अभी कुछ जब एक्चुअली आप हमारे यहाँ पे भी आएंगे और कंजर्वेशन पार्क में, तो आपको पता चलेगा कि आने के बाद कितना पॉजिटिव लगता है और अपनी खेती भी बहुत अच्छी तरीके से हो सकती है। जैसा और मैं हम लोग जैसा भी ये ऑरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क में अलग अलग वर्कशॉप भी लेते हैं। आयुर्वेद के लिए लेते हैं, बॉटनी के लिए लेते हैं, फार्मेसी के लिए लेते हैं, अलग अलग वर्कशॉप्स है। उसमें अवेयरनेस सबसे बड़ा, ये अवेयरनेस आज किसको होना चाहिए? आज तो हम लोग बात करेंगे सब बड़े लोग जो है और फिर काम को लग जाएंगे। लेकिन आने वाले पीढ़ी, मतलब मेरे ख्याल से फिफ्थ को फिफ्थ से 10वीं, ये जो बच्चे हैं उनको ये ट्रेनिंग देना बहुत जरूरी है। अवेयरनेस उनको लाना बहुत जरूरी है। अभी नई शिक्षण पॉलिसी है, उसमें आया हुआ है, लेकिन हम लोगों ने कॉलेज में, स्कूल में भी उस पर थोड़ा सा ध्यान देना जरूरी है। अदरवाइज हम लोग अभी एक ऐसे इसमें पहुंच गए कि हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा कर नहीं पाएंगे। लेकिन बड़े छोटे स्टूडेंट है उनको अभी से बीज अगर हम लोग देते हैं तो वो ज्यादा बेटर रहेगा। और सबसे एक अहम मुद्दा कि अगर हम लोगों को प्लांटेशन और इसमें बढ़ना है तो सबसे पहला काम यह है कि हम लोगों को घर में प्लांट लगाना चाहिए, आयुर्वेदिक या जो भी हमको यूज कर सकते हैं। जैसा हमारे पास हम लोगों ने एक कंसेप्ट डेवलप किया, एडोप्टोजेनिक 25 प्लांट। तो वो 25 प्लांट्स छोटे मोटे इलाज के लिए घर के घर में यूज कर सकते हैं। जैसा पानफुटी हो गया किडनी स्टोन के लिए, गौती चाह हो गया एंटी एजिंग के लिए, पिंपली हो गई लंग्स के लिए, बाद में गिलोय हो गया, ब्राह्मी जल ब्राह्मी हो गए मेमोरी के लिए, मंडूकर्णी हो गया आकलन शक्ति के लिए, मायारू हो गया आयरन के लिए। ये ऐसे प्लांट अगर आप लोग, मतलब हम लोगों ने सबने लगाना चाहिए, हर घर में लगाना चाहिए ताकि उसका अवेयरनेस बढ़ाए। तो ये छोटे मोटे ऐसे बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स हमारे सामने है और उस पे आंसर भी है। मैं एक 2-3 उदाहरण देता हूँ और मेरा ये खत्म करूंगा। एक उदाहरण ऐसा है कि जो हमारे यहाँ पास बच्चे आते हैं स्टूडेंट्स पूरे कॉलेज के 50 60 50 60 स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं, तो मैं उनको कहता हूँ कि दुनिया में अपने पृथ्वी पे सबसे होशियार कौन है, तो सब लोग कहते हैं कि मानव जाति सबसे होशियार है। तो फिर मैं उनको कहता हूँ कि अगर ऐसा सोचिए, पूरे पृथ्वी तल पे मानव जाति अगर खत्म हो गई आज, हम तो क्या हो, नहीं उल्टा पूछता हूँ मैं, अगर हमारे पृथ्वी पे जितने भी बर्ड्स, इंसेक्ट्स, हनी बीज ये अगर खत्म हो गया तो क्या होगा? तो वो बोलते हैं आदमी नहीं बचेगा, 2 3 महीने में खत्म हो जाएगा, ज्यादा से ज्यादा 6 महीना हमारे पास जितना स्टॉक है वो खाने का, वो खत्म होने के बाद आदमी नहीं बच पाएगा। फिर मैं उनको कहता हूँ कि उल्टा, अगर आदमी खत्म हो गया पृथ्वी तल पे तो क्या होगा? तो सब लोग कहते हैं कि नहीं, बहुत सब बढ़ेंगे, मतलब पक्षी बढ़ेंगे, इंसेक्ट बढ़ेंगे, हनी बीज बढ़ेंगे, सब बढ़ेंगे, बहुत अच्छे से भरभराट से बढ़ेंगे। तो मैं यही कहता हूँ कि हम लोगों को सबसे ज्यादा मानव को दिमाग दिया है, लेकिन हम पूरा डिस्ट्रॉय करने के पीछे पड़े हुए हैं। तो ऐसे छोटे छोटे जो चीजें हैं, तो एक्चुअली हम लोगों को प्रैक्टिकल ये करना चाहिए, और हम लोगों को घर से हमारी बायोडायवर्सिटी बढ़ानी चाहिए, और जो ऑर्नामेंटल प्लांट्स है उसके साथ मेडिसिनल प्लांट भी लगाने चाहिए। नक्षत्र वन एक कंसेप्ट जो आयुर्वेद में चलता है, उसके बारे में भी थोड़ा सा अवेयर होके वो भी प्लांट्स आप अगर लगाते हैं तो भी एक पॉजिटिव विचार लोगों के पास जाता है। तो ऐसा कह के मैं अपने ऑर्गेनाइजर ने मुझे यहाँ पे इस बड़ी सेमिनार में बात करने के लिए बुलाया, उसके बारे में मैं उनका धन्यवाद कहना चाहूंगा। धन्यवाद मैडम, थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक्स आवाज नहीं।
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure to hear you on the sense of global warming to impart the concern.
सर
Hello,
सर
sir.
सर सॉरी, एक छोटा सा पीपीटी है, वो
Okay,
दिखाना भूल गया मैं।
okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
हाँ, एक ही 2 ही मिनट का है।
Okay, okay, sir.
हाँ, मैं शेयर कर रहा हूँ। ये हमारा बायोडायवर्सिटी है, हमारा बायोडायवर्सिटी का व्हाट इज ऑरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क। हमारा जो नागपुर से 40 किलोमीटर अंतर पे हम लोगों ने ये डेवलप किया है। व्हाट इज अ ऑरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क? ऑरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क इज अ बायोडिस्टिंग्विश्ड पार्क built to conserve medicinal plant species and are now becoming rare due to reckless commercial activity। तो ये है, तो हाँ, आप लोगों को मतलब हम लोग फार्मा, बीएमएस, बॉटनी, इंजीनियरिंग, आर्ट्स, लैंडस्केपिंग, एनवायरनमेंट साइंस, ये सभी प्रकार के स्टूडेंट्स हमारे यहाँ एजुकेशनल पिकनिक के लिए और कंजर्वेशन पार्क आते हैं। और इसके बाद ये हमारा वहाँ के कुछ फोटोग्राफ्स दिखाना चाहूंगा मैं। ये तो बहुत पहले की फोटोग्राफ्स है, अभी पीछे का जो है वो तो पूरा जंगल बन गया है। और जो चेयर के पीछे जो प्लांट्स है ना, वो अग्निवंत है, प्रेमना एंटीग्रियोफोलिया दशमूल का, उसके मैंने 20 प्लांट्स लाए थे, बहुत जमा करके, पैसे तो भी मुझे मिल गए थे। आज वो 4,500 प्लांट वहाँ पे और कंजर्वेशन पार्क में डेवलप किए हुए हैं। और आने वाले 3 साल में हम लोग 2 लाख का टारगेट रखा हुआ है, 2 लाख प्लांटेशन उसका मल्टीप्लिकेशन हो जाएगा। बाद में ये अलग अलग प्लांट्स है। अभी पीछे में जो दिख रहा है आपको पूरी पहाड़ी है, जंगल है। और ये हमारे पूरे प्लॉट्स थे अर्ली 2017 का ये फोटो होगा। और अभी तो पूरा जंगल हो गया, अभी छोटे छोटे प्लॉट्स नहीं, बड़े बड़े प्लॉट्स बन गए, वृक्ष भी बन गए उसके। ये नक्षत्र वन है, अभी आप कोई अगर मैडम भी आके गए नक्षत्र वन में, अभी तो बहुत बढ़ गया है वो, बहुत अच्छा घना बन गया, बड़े बड़े वृक्ष बन गए। ये भी कुछ कॉलेज के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, नॉलेज लेने के लिए आ रहे हैं, नेचर ही उनको सिखाता है। तो ये एक्सपीरियंस करने का बहुत अच्छा आपको रहेगा। ये है अवेयरनेस, बहुत मिस्ट्री है, अनसॉल्व है, वो हम लोगों को सॉल्व करनी है। बच्चे लोगों को बहुत ही इंटरेस्ट रहता है, और वो मुझे जब क्वेश्चन पूछते तो मुझे भी कभी कभी आंसर नहीं आता, इसमें है। इसलिए मैं बोल रहा था कि बच्चों को अपने को बताना बहुत जरूरी है। ऑरा कंजर्वेशन पार्क का 4 सीजन में 4 बहुत सुंदर फ्लावर्स और ये रहते हैं, तो साल में 4 बार आना चाहिए। और ये हमारा लेफ्ट हैंड का जो फोटो है वो एक्चुअल फोटो है, और ये सब ग्रुप्स आए हुए हैं। हम लोगों का मेमोरेंडम भी है, एमओयू है बहुत सारे कॉलेज के साथ। हम लोग उनको कुछ प्लांट्स भी देते हैं। पूरे भारत में हमारा जो भी रिसर्च पर स्टूडेंट्स है वो प्लांट्स के बारे में रिक्वायरमेंट अगर है तो हमारे पास वो आते हैं, और हम पूरे पैन इंडिया उसको सप्लाई करते हैं। ये हमारा 2000 एकदम 16 का स्टार्टिंग का फोटोग्राफ्स। ये और कंजर्वेशन पार्क के लेक है उसके पास में। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful session. It is very informative and innovative to conserve the medicinal plants in a home kitchen also. So now I request to our today's session's chairperson, Dr. R.R. Patil, sir, to say few words about the lecture. Dr. R.R. Patil, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. We have wonderful talk regarding the biodiversity and Ayurveda by Dr. Amrish Ghattate, sir. Now,
सर मैं कहना चाहूंगा मैं डॉक्टर नहीं हूँ।
अच्छा, ओके।
मैं कहना चाहूंगा मैं डॉक्टर नहीं हूँ।
ओके,
ठीक है, थैंक यू।
Ghattate, sir, and we know that due to commercialization of various products, medicinal plants are vanishing very rapidly. I mean, and they are, taken away from the forest and are converted into medicine. And due to this, there is a lot of problems regarding the biodiversity. And Amrish Ghattate sir has presented a wonderful talk regarding how we can rejuvenate these plants and increase the biodiversity, and which will be helpful not only for the environment, for the entire mankind. He has also developed some aura park, and we can see the wonderful pictures of that. I think this talk enlighten us regarding the various aspect of biodiversity and the Ayurvedic medicinal plants. I hope this lecture will help you in understanding the various aspect of the biodiversity and with respect to the Ayurvedic medicinal plants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you sir, thank you.
So now, anyone ask you question to the Ghattate, sir? Sorry, no
ठीक है
question.
सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
Welcome, sir. So now I call for the vote of thanks Dr. Prashant Ingde from the Sai Baba Arts and Science College for the session, technical session 4. Dr. Prashant Ingde, sir.
Yes, sir. I am audible, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. So, sir, Dr. MS, sir, I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. This conference was truly worthy, sir. You really motivate us to gain more and more knowledge about the Ayurvedic and especially biodiversity and the plants which are indigenous. More knowledge and work hard in our respective fields, sir. I would like to thank all those honorable delegates who bless us with their presence. I am also very much thankful to all committee members. The words are not enough to thank their constant guidance and support to the shape of this conference. So I thank to everyone. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Prashant, sir. And thanks to, I also thanks to organizing committee and our honorable principal, Dr. George Augustine, sir, to become a part of this conference and give a chance me to hosting this technical session 4. Now the time to valedictory, I am I'm handing over the charge to Dr. Ravikant Mishra, sir. So over to you, Mishra, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
A very warm good afternoon, invited guests, professors, students, and ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Ravikant Mishra, Department of Mathematics from Bhivapur Mahavidyalaya, Bhivapur. I welcome you all to this valedictory function of 2-day interdisciplinary international conference on reimagining sciences in the wake of NEP 2020. Research dissemination and skill development organized by Bhivapur Mahavidyalaya, Bhivapur in collaboration with Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalaya, Devgram, KDK College of Engineering, Nagpur, and Sai Baba Arts and Science College, Parshuni. So let me first acknowledge the presence of our eminent guest. It is indeed our pleasure to have amongst us. So the guest of honor of this valedictory function, Dr. George Augustine, sir, Principal, Sai Baba Arts and Science College, Parshuni. The chief guest of today's function, Dr. R.R. Patil, sir, Professor, Department of Physics, Institute of Forensic Science, Nagpur. The rapporteur of this function, Dr. Mrs. S.P. Wankhede, Madam, Associate Professor, Head, Department of Physics from KDK College of Engineering, Nagpur, and the President, Dr. Devendra Bhongade, sir, Principal, Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalaya, Devgram. Welcome you all. Let me introduce today's guest of honor, Dr. George Augustine, sir, with the permission of chair to all our participants. Dr. George Augustine, sir, working as a principal at Sai Baba Arts and Science College, Parshuni. He started his career as a lecturer in English in 1988 at Arts and Commerce College, RV. He has the credit of being one of the very few candidates clearing SET exam for lectures when it was started for the first time by the University of Pune as a state agency in the year 1990 as regular principal, ITKA Arts and Commerce and Science College, Hinganghat, Shri Niketan Arts and Commerce College, Reshimbagh, Nagpur, and Kumbhalkar Social Work Evening College, Ganeshpet, Nagpur. 2 research scholars have been awarded PhD by RTMUNU under his guidance. He has published a book and many research papers in peer-reviewed journals of national and international. So now I invite guest of honor for this valedictory function, Dr. George Augustine, sir, to say few words on this occasion. Over to you, George, sir.
Thank you very much. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Good afternoon to everybody. I'm really glad and honored to be a part of this valedictory function of 2-day interdisciplinary international conference on reimagining science in the wake of NEP 2020, research, dissemination, and skill development jointly fostered by Bhivapur Mahavidyalaya, Bhivapur, Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalaya, Devgram, KDK Engineering College, Nagpur, and Sai Baba Arts and Science College, Parshuni District, Nagpur. First of all, my hats off to you, our patrons, Honorable Rajendra Mulak, ex-minister and secretary of BCYRC Nagpur, Honorable Bahusaheb Bhonge, founder, president of Andyodaya Mission, Devgram, and Honorable Prakash Domki, secretary, Dhyan Ranjan Krida, Bahudeshya Sanstha, Parshuni. As they are the ones who carry forward the legacy of education in the Vidarbha region. We all know that the cities like Bombay, Pune, and in Pune, industries are the major job providers. But in Nagpur region, schools and colleges are the major job providers. Vidarbha is alive and kicking financially only because of the educational visionaries and missionaries like our patrons. Their patronage gave us impetus to the conveners, which made possible this two-day interdisciplinary international conference. I was also privileged to collaborate with these conveners, Dr. Joby George, Principal Bhawapur Mahavidyalaya, Dr. D.P. Singh, KDK College of Engineering, Nagpur, and Devendra Bhungade, Principal Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalaya, Devagram. I am indebted to them deeply because generally people try to rope in collaboration with institutions which will add face value to them. But they decided to take us along with their pursuit of excellence, even as a young college, Baba Arts and Science College personally. I thank you from the bottom of the heart, and I make use of this opportunity for that. I remember the IQSC coordinators, Dr. Vinitha S. Virgandam, Bhawapur Mahavidyalaya, Dr. Prabhakar Kande, KDK College of Engineering, Nagpur, Dr. Mahesh Acharya, Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalaya, Devagram, and Assistant Professor Anil Bondre, Sai Baba Arts and Science College, Pershini, whose untiring efforts made this conference a reality. I remember the chief guest and inaugurator, Honorable Dr. Sanjay Thakare, Joint Director of Higher Education, Nagpur. Keynote speaker, Dr. K.C. Mohite, Principal C.T. Bora College, Pune. Renowned resource persons like Dr. Nitin Labshetwar, Chief Scientist and Head of EMRD Division. Renowned resource persons, Dr. Nitin Labshetwar, Chief Scientist and Head of EMRD Division. Dr. Rajendra Pant, Department of Applied Mathematics, University of Johannesburg, Auckland, South Africa. Dr. Swapnil Garaskar, Pandit Deendayal Energy University, Gujarat, and Mr. Ambraj Gattate, Director, Manas Ayurveda, Nagpur, and the organizing secretaries, Dr. Yogesh More, HOD Department of Physics, Bhawapur College, Dr. Mrs. S.P. Wankhede, HOD Department of Physics, KDK College, and Dr. Prashant Inge, Head of the Department of Zoology, Sai Baba Arts and Science College, personally. I also remember the whole panel of members of advisory committee who all together made this conference a relishing intellectual treat. Honorable scholars from across the world who stayed connected with us, who are really the means and end of this endeavor. These 2 days, we have been deliberating the paradigm shift in the educational scenario by the implementation of National Education Policy 2020. The National Education Policy is a landmark policy that has been framed after a gap of 30 years. And it aims to transform the Indian education system into a holistic and multidisciplinary system that is aligned with the needs of 21st century. One of the key highlights of the National Education Policy is its focus on the multidisciplinary education. The policy aims to take the silos between the different disciplines and promote a multidisciplinary approach to learning. This will enable students to develop a broad-based understanding, different subjects, and development skills that are relevant in the 21st century. The National Education Policy also recognizes the importance of technology in education and aims to promote the use of technology in teaching and learning. The policy aims to develop a digital infrastructure and promote the use of e-resources to enhance the quality of education and make it accessible. One of the most significant changes brought about by this policy is that it aims to promote vocational education and skill development. It recognizes that not all students are inclined towards academic education and aims to provide them with the opportunities for vocational and skill development. This will enable them to acquire skills that are in demand in the job market and contribute to the economy. In conclusion, the national education policy is a significant policy that has the potential to transform the Indian education system. It aims to provide universal access to the quality education, promote multidisciplinary approach to learning, use technology in education, and promote vocational education and skill development. I believe that this two-day interdisciplinary international conference will have a positive impact on the education system and equip our students with the skills they need to succeed in 21st century. With these words, let me conclude and looking forward to many more collaborative endeavors in future. I say thank you very much and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now we have with us chief guest, Dr. R.R. Patil, sir. He has been with us as a chairperson for technical session 3rd and 4th of day 2 of this interdisciplinary international conference. So I request Dr. R.R. Patil, sir, to say a few words on this occasion. Patil, sir.
Thank you very much, our organizers, to kindly invite me as a chief guest for today's valedictory function. You know, conferences basically are for the dissemination of the knowledge from various resource person to the delegates and particularly teachers and students. Now the theme of the conference is the reimagination of NEP and research dissemination and skill development. Now, up till now, we have an old education policy which mostly is concerned with basic sciences, and there was not much emphasis was given on the skill development and the original thinking. I think the new education policy is the major emphasis is given is on the multidisciplinary approach and as well as the logical thinking and the original thinking. It also given major emphasis on the skill development, because skill development is very important as far as education is concerned. And I think this conference has arranged lectures particularly in this regard, and I think these lectures will definitely develop original thinking in students and the teachers and the participants, which are the most of the participants in this conference. A lot of things are said about the education policy, so I will not go into that. But this conference, I think, has achieved its goal by touching the various aspects of the modern or the current problems in the society, and this will helpful in future for the participants in their endeavors. I think I think 100 participants, the conference evoke a good response, and I feel the organizers that they have achieved their goal in organizing a very good conference. So I thank you once again for the organizer for giving me this opportunity to to chair these 2 sessions and as a chief guest in the valedictory function. I thank you very much for.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable words. Now we have with us Principal Dr. Joby George, sir. I request Dr. Joby George Sir, Principal, Bhivapur Mahavidyalaya, Bhivapur, to say few words on this occasion.
Thank you. Nice good afternoon to one and all. For the last 2 days, we have been listening to one speakers, resource persons from across the world, and there were about 400 above
Excuse me, sir, your voice is not audible.
and in fact, yesterday there were
Excuse
more
me, sir.
than 200 participants, and today about 100. And in all,
George Sir, you are not audible.
can you hear? Is it audible?
No, sir, not clearly, sir.
Sir, the bandwidth is low. You can log in from another mobile phone if you could. Your voice is not clear.
You carry on with.
Sir, now it's clear. Now your voice is clear.
George Sir, you are not audible, sir.
Hello.
Okay. So,
Hello. Can you hear me?
no, sir. Okay. Okay, so we are moving. With the permission of chair, I would like to introduce Repo Chair, Dr. Mrs. SP Wankhede Madam. Madam working as an associate professor and head of physics department in KDK Engineering College, Nagpur. Madam published more than 100 research papers in various science journals. She completed 3 research projects granted by BRNS and ICMR. 6 students were awarded PhD under her guidance. 2 patents are granted on dosimetry, wrote 2 books in physics, conducted international conference 2 times as a convener. So now I request Dr. Wankhede Madam to present her report on this interdisciplinary international conference. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to one and all present here, respected President of the Validatory Function, Dr. Devendra Bhongade, sir, Principal, Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalay, Devgram, Guest of Honor, Dr. George Augustine, sir, Principal, Sai Baba Arts and Science College, Parshivani, Chief Guest of the Function, Dr. R.R. Patil, sir, Institute of Science College, Nagpur. Principal of Bhivapur Mahavidyalay, Dr. Joby George, sir, Vice Principal of KDK College of Engineering, Dr. A.M. Badar, sir, all dignitaries, all head of the departments, all IQAC coordinators, all organizing secretaries, all staff members, my colleagues, and most importantly, my dear participants of this 2 days interdisciplinary international conference or Reimagining Sciences in the wake of NEP 2020, research, dissemination, and skill development. I myself, Dr. Mrs. Sangeeta Wankhede, Head of the Department of Physics, KDK College of Engineering, welcome you all in this validatory function. This conference is organized by 4 colleges, Bhivapur Mahavidyalay, Bhivapur, Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalay, Devgram, KDK College of Engineering, Nagpur, and Sai Baba Arts and Science College, Parshivani. We are pleased to mention that we have come to end of this 2 days international conference. It's my pleasure to present before you the brief summary of this conference. It is extremely gratifying to note that we had 487 participants from 10 states all over India and also from other countries, USA, UAE, and Germany. This conference was inaugurated by Chief Guest and President of the conference, Dr. A.M. Badar, sir, Vice Principal of KDK College of Engineering, Nagpur. Dr. Badar, sir, in his inaugural speech, highlighted the growth of research technology in the past few years and stressed upon the importance of facilities and data available for research. He also spoke upon the need of such program. Dr. Joby George, Principal of Bhivapur Mahavidyalay, delivered the welcome address for the gathering. Dr. Yogesh More, Organizing Secretary of this conference, gave brief introduction of this conference. Dr. Vinita Vergandam, IQAC Coordinator of Bhivapur Mahavidyalay, conducted this inaugural function. Guest of honor of inaugural function were Dr. D.P. Singh, sir, Principal of KDK College of Engineering, Dr. Devendra Bhongade, Principal, Jeevan Vikas Mahavidyalay, Devgram, and Dr. George Augustine, Principal, Sai Baba Arts and Commerce College, Parshivani. Dr. K.C. Mohite, sir, Principal, SSP Mandal City Bohra College, Shirpur, and ex-Dean, Faculty of Science, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, delivered keynote speech. He elaborated the topic research and collaborative opportunities in higher education, National Education Policy 2020. First 2 technical sessions were chaired by Dr. S.B. Revatkar, sir, former Dean of Gondwana University. In technical session 1, eminent speaker Dr. Nitin Lapshetwar, sir, Chief Scientist and Head ERMD Division, NIRI, Nagpur, elaborated the topic Cleaner Energy and Environment, Challenges and Opportunities. In second technical session, Dr. Rajendra Pant, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, University of Johannesburg, South Africa, explain the topic metric fixed point theory, origin and recent developments. Today morning, we have witnessed the excellent technical sessions. Both technical sessions, third and fourth, were chaired by Dr. R.R. Patil sir, Professor, Department of Forensic Science, Institute of Science College, Nagpur. In third technical session, Dr. Swapnil Dharaskar, Associate Professor, Head of the Department of Chemical Engineering, School of Technology, Pandit Deen Dayal University, Gandhinagar, delivered talk on greener and cleaner approach for environmental sustainability for CO2 conversion and utilization. In technical session 4, Mr. Ambarish Ghatate, Director, Manas Ayurved, Nagpur, elaborated the topic biodiversity and Ayurved. He gave very useful information regarding medicinal plants and its use. We have indeed a grateful to all eminent speakers for their well-planned presentations. Overall, all participants have enjoyed and gathered very useful findings from this conference by the renowned academicians and scientists. We had all together learned and empowered ourselves a lot through this conference. This knowledge will be no doubt be valuable as we go forward in our life. It's my pleasure to take this opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Secretary Shri Rajendraji Moyak sir and Honorable Treasurer Shri Yashraj Moyak sir for providing necessary support to conduct this sessions. I wholeheartedly thank principals of all 4 colleges for their inspiration and motivation for smooth conduction of this conference. Thank you for giving me opportunity for briefing this conference. Finally, I extend my sincere gratitude to all participants for their participation in this conference. Okay. All the best. Keep learning and practicing. Once again, thank you, one and all. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you
Over
very
to-
much, madam,
Over to sir.
for your report on two-day interdisciplinary international conference. So now, due to some unforeseen circumstances at the home front of our president, today's function, Dr. Devendra Phongade sir, principal of Jivan Vikas Mahavidyalaya, Deogram, actually president of today's function for the validatory session isn't available, and he has given his message to the readout by his representative, Dr. Yogesh Sarode sir from Jivan Vikas Mahavidyalaya. So I now invite Dr. Yogesh Sarode sir to read out message of Dr. Devendra Bhongade sir. Yogesh sir.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon, all of you. Honorable directors and respected principals of all host colleges, other dignitaries on the dais, dear faculty members, and participants present on this occasion. First of all, I, Dr. Yogesh, on behalf of Dr. Devendra Bhongade, Principal Jivan Vikas Mahavidyalaya Deogram, and one of the conveners of this two-day international conference on reimagining sciences in the wake of NEP 2020, organized by 4 colleges, hearty welcome and appreciate the efforts of coming together to organize this international conference, considering the need of the time. Friends, the flow of river cannot stop and should not stop in any way, in any situation, and that is the nature of any river. Same is the case with any educational institutions. Even there are odd situations, the educational institution should always organize programs that benefit the society and students. Considering the requirement and the need of the students and faculty members, these institutions should come ahead and try to minimize the obstacles in the way of progress. And that is what is expected from higher educational institutions. It shows the liveliness of the institutions. These 4 colleges in true sense, diagnose the nerve of the present academic society and organize this conference. So their adventure in this regard is really praiseworthy. I also congratulate the organizing secretaries of these four host colleges, Dr. Yogesh More, Dr. Misa S.P. Wankhede, Dr. Kalyani Thakre, and Dr. Prashant Ingre for organizing this conference considering the need of the faculty and students. Many times, colleges organize seminar conferences because the NEC demands how many conferences have been organized by the colleges. No doubt, it fulfills the portfolio of the institution, but does it attract the students? Anything that is done without keeping students at the center is of no use. The students must be at the center because he is an important stakeholder of any institution. In his progress lies the progress of institution, and that is what is expected to the society and expected from higher educational institutions too. The topic selected for this conference is so important because nowadays there is a lot of confusion in the minds of faculty and students also as to how will be the framework of the syllabus, what will be the contents, how to choose the papers. Again, the students will have option to exit after each year of 4 years. So naturally, the subject selection would be such that it would be more comprehensive, skill based, and job giving in the current scenario. The world is growing with a faster pace in the 21st century due to rapid development of science and technology. It has brought a paradigm shift to the lifestyle and social process as a whole. Changing scenario has brought more challenges to live in. Preparing students to live and face the world in the 21st century is challenging and daunting. Acquisition of different skill and knowledge as well as interdisciplinary approach towards the world are needed to the students to keep in pace with world. Several recommendations by NCF 2005 and NEP 2020 related to science education, which clearly states the role of science curriculum in developing different 21st century learning skills to face the real world. The world is posing several challenges for individuals. The policies or recommendations were done keeping in mind the future challenges the world may pose, and it has been recommended with the intent to prepare the learner to face the challenges. These dynamic recommendations made by both the policies, if integrated and implemented properly with the same intent and spirit, it can do wonders and help learners to learn and acquire these skills, which in turn help them adapt to different situations. Survival of the fittest is a phrase that originated from the evolutionary theory, is most relevant when it comes to survive in the changing world. It was rightly said by him, it is not the strongest of the species that survives, or the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. So one need to accept the change and adapt according to the situation. This value only can be inculcated through the most powerful weapon, that is education. Nelson Mandela says, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Friends, as far as conference is concerned, we had the intellectual resource person from over the sea and across India. Since inaugural session, all the resource persons were resourceful and gave justice to the topic. All the deliberations were informative and interesting, length and depth to the topics. No doubt, there might be few conferences organized earlier on this or related topic across India, but still, most of us have not become the part of that knowledge. I'm damn sure that this conference definitely added to our knowledge and cleared most of our doubts and confusion regarding new education policy, considering science at the center. I really appreciate the efforts of these host colleges for the organization of this conference. So once again, I congratulate and wish that such conferences be organized in future too, considering the need of the students and faculty members at the point
when there is a great chaos about the formation of syllabi as per NEP. With this, I conclude my speech and stop. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So now here, I would like to request Dr. Ashwini Kadu, Madam, Member Secretary of Research Committee of Bhiyapur Mahavidyalaya Bhiyapur, for vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event to all dignitaries who have joined us online for today's interdisciplinary international conference on reimagining sciences in the wake of NEP 2020, research dissemination and skill development. This is Dr. Ashwini Kadu, Head Department of Chemistry, Bhiyapur Mahavidyalaya. With you now to propose a formal vote of thanks on the eve of the concluding day. I would like to thanks to our chief guest of inaugural function, Dr. Sanjay Thakre sir, Joint Director, Higher Education, Nagpur Region, for accepting our invitations. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests, Dr. K.C. Moiti sir, Dr. Nitin Lavsetwar sir, Dr. Rajendra Panta sir, Dr. Dharaskar sir, and also Dr. Ghatate sir, who graced this international conference with their inspirational thoughts. I giving my sincere thanks to Dr. S.B. Revatkar sir and Dr. Rajesh Patil sir, who chaired this session for this conference. Also, I would like to thank anchors and hosts, head of all the sessions who handled the event throughout. I thank our principal, Dr. Josh sir, and all principals of Collaborating College, Dr. D.P. Singh sir, Principal KDK Engineering College Nagpur, Dr. Avinash Badar sir, Vice Principal KDK Engineering Nagpur, Dr. Devendra Bongade sir, Principal of Jivan Vikas Mahavidyalaya Devgram, Dr. George Agustin sir, Principal of Sai Baba Arts and Science College, Parshoni. Our heartfelt gratitude to all the IQAC coordinators of all the collaborating colleges. Our thanks are due to all the organizing secretaries and members of the organizing committee. I place on record our gratitude to all those visible and invisible support we receive from all quarters. And my dear colleagues, delegates, and scholars, without you, this conference wouldn't have been a successful one. My heartfelt thanks to all of you. Thank you, one and all. May I request you all to kind fill in the feedback link made available in the chat box and avail your e-certificates.